healthcare partner since 1934. Live to Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Bob Whidden, Dave Miller, Cleveland Lumberjacks, and the Fort Wayne Komets. And they are fired up for this Central Division battle tonight, Bob.
Well, it certainly is, and they get the Halloween ready to go as they're looking for Jock-o'-lanterns here tonight, and we'll be looking for Jock Callender to light the light. They'll light that old lantern behind Bruce Racine this evening.
Jock Callender, the 37-year-old veteran player assistant coach. There's his boss, Perry Gancher, in behind the Cleveland Lumberjacks bench. The third time these teams will meet in the young portion of the season.
Well, last weekend, Fort Wayne trounced the Lumberjacks 7-2 right in this building, and they came out using the body. Perry Gancher expects the same thing today. Fort Wayne only going with 5 defensemen, Dave, so look for the Lumberjacks to try and pressure the defense down low, tiring them out, and hopefully capitalizing on some mistakes by this defense of the Fort Wayne Komets.
We're underway. Quick break for Boyce. Couldn't get the shot off. Rolled off the heel of his stick. Inside the Jack zone. Tip back out to center ice. Dangerous scoring chance right off the opening faceoff as we get things started here in the opening period of play. Here comes Brad Purdie out of the University of Maine. In over the Jacks line. Was held up. Flip back out to center ice. Giving chase now. It is Ed Campbell. Campbell circles in his own zone. Watched by Peterson and then steamrolled by Corey Spring. Komets will send it back into the Cleveland zone. Head coach Grant Saunier getting a change on the fly for his Fort Wayne Komets. There you see the series. Cleveland dominant over the past 3 years, losing just 7 times in 31 games. But as we mentioned in the open, Cleveland trying to redeem themselves after a 7-2 loss here in Fort Wayne last Saturday night. Up along the left wing boards, Lehterä got it out to center ice. Won't get it past Jim Pack. A long-range drive. Gloved down by Bruce Racine. And he has been Mr. Everything for the Fort Wayne Komets against Cleveland.
He stands up well. He likes to play the angles. Doesn't do anything extraordinary. I don't know that he changes his game just because it's Cleveland, even though he is a former Lumberjack. But Bruce just plays a steady game in goal.
Bruce Racine facing Jason Bond Sr. Kicks this one aside. Lane Lambert seeing his first action of the season in deep. Inside the Komet zone, Lehterä on the off wing for Butsayev. Held up in center ice. Reaching backward is Persian. Taken now by Lambert into enemy territory. Lambert missing the first portion of the schedule with a groin injury. Still a bit tender, but making his seasonal debut here tonight. And it's been a rough couple of years for Lane Lambert, who last year missed a good portion of the schedule with a foot injury. This year it's been a bad groin that's kept Lambert out of the lineup.
Well, Lane Lambert's wanting to get back in the lineup, and every time he was healthy just to get back, he'd stretch that groin a little bit more. But back tonight here this evening.
Boguniecki hauled down by Carl Beddick, the Jacks rookie defenseman. And our first penalty of the game goes against Cleveland. A power play forthcoming for the Fort Wayne Komets as we check out our keys to the game. Brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, talking about stronger in the neutral zone right there, Beddick takes a penalty in the neutral zone, hooking down the Fort Wayne player, and then not allowing any odd man rushes. And already tonight we've seen Fort Wayne break through the Lumberjack defense for partial breakaways. And of course, determination. Got to work a little bit harder in the offensive zone. Here's the play right here in the neutral zone. He pulls him right down, and that's the one thing where Gancher wants his guys to pinch the board, shut down the lanes. Don't give them the lanes, and that's exactly what happened there. He gave him the lane and then got caught, had to take the penalty.
Carl Beddick in the Jacks penalty box, actually a late arrival. The team came up yesterday. We'll talk more about why he was late arriving as Corey Schwab makes a glove save and holds on. Carl Beddick's wife actually expecting a child back in Cleveland, so he made the trip up earlier today and is in the lineup as you get a good look at Jacks veteran goaltender Corey Schwab.
Well, a lot of dedication by the kid driving up here. Corey Schwab making his 4th start, I believe, Dave. Again, a solid goaltender who stands up, plays the angles extremely well.
Early portion of a power play for the Fort Wayne Komets. Shagorodsky walks it in, shot. What a save from Corey Hirsch. He slides down, hauls it in, and robs Shagorodsky from point-blank range.
Well, Corey Schwab made a great save on that. He stood right up as the defenseman broke down the lane. And again, as I mentioned, Schwab just stands right up, doesn't back into the goal, and that shooter had no choice but to take the shot. Look how he holds his ground and stands up in the paint, actually going through the 5-hole, but Schwab just right there getting that big glove in the way and making the good save.
Brad Purdie out front with Robin Bawa and Ian Boyce working the forward shift on the power play. Shagarodsky teamed defensively with Mike Martin as the Komets continue to work with the man advantage. 1:33 left in Bennick's penalty. Boyce down low to Purdie. Purdie all the way back around the Jacks goal. Tip back to the point. Shagarodsky with a clear shot. Tipped at the last moment. And it ends up in the corner. Boyce on the backhand behind the goal. Purdie stiff check from Butsayev. Lane Lambert winds up. Slaps it out of the zone. Delisle runs into Martin, who backs it up for Shagarodsky. Early portion of a scoreless first period. Glad you can join us hockey night here in America's heartland with the Cleveland Lumberjacks and Fort Wayne Komets meeting for the third time already this season. There's a long-range drive from Boyce, gloved down by Schwab. He takes it upon himself, loves to play the puck. This time does so out to Peterson, just ahead of his teammate, taken instead back inside the Fort Wayne zone by Lee Sorokin. Sorokin, 6'1", 210 pounds, just 23 years of age. Dishes it off on the far side, played by Nemirovsky back inside the Cleveland zone. Up on the near boards now Campbell. Butsayev, former Philadelphia Flyers prospect. Slava Butsayev gets a return pass from Lehterä. They continue to cycle the puck. Butsayev pass across the grain for Nemirovsky. They could not connect, and it's Spring moving it out of the zone with 24 seconds left in the penalty to Jacks defenseman Carl Bennick. Loose in the neutral zone. Calendar reaches back, finds a gift, and promptly sends it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Campbell making his way to center ice. An errant pass is going to be picked up by Dave Butsayev. He slaps it back out. Butsayev with a C on that road black jersey, the acting captain of the Cleveland Lumberjacks, with Jason Ruff sidelined with that separated shoulder. We'll check the rest of our scratches coming up as Nemirovsky winds up, blasts this one black back into the Cleveland zone as Bennick returns. So the Komets 0 for 1 on the power play, but have possession. There's a shot off the stick of Dupuis. Side of the net gets a second chance. Tried to jam it in the short side. Butsayev thought he scored. Schwab keeps it out, and with 15:44 to go in the first, we're scoreless from Fort Wayne on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Since Dodge Caravan's easy out roller seats have wheels that pop down, reconfiguring the interior is an exercise in convenience. Not an exercise in exercise. Why don't all the other guys make it this easy? Go configure. Caravan, the new Dodge.
Hey, Max here. Stocking up on office supplies can mean big bucks. But Office Max can turn those big office bills into small change. Of course, with 800 stores and over 8,000 office products at every store, Office Max is the biggest office products superstore around. So we can cut prices drastically. Looking good. Office Max. We go to the max for you.
The Jacks with 3 injuries and 1 healthy scratch as we check our injury report, brought to you by the Peak and Marymount's.
Well, Chris Longo missing his first game, and he doesn't miss too many of them. Last year, he played in every hockey game, and for Chris Longo to miss a game, you know he has to be suffering. Tough to hold a stick with that weak finger.
Face-off back inside the Cleveland zone, sent in on the near side. A 5-on-5 situation, still no score to pass along. Mario Larocque, the 20-year-old top defensive prospect of the Tampa Bay Lightning, got some help to center ice, picked off by the Komets. Dupuis backpedaling through the neutral zone. Lehterä run over by Pack, and the Komets have it along the left wing board. That's Butsayev in around Larocque, shakes it, scores! Oh, Slava Butsayev got around the young Jack defenseman, sent it low glove side on the backhand. Strike first, 1-0.
Well, Mark Larocque gets tied up there. He's doing a little Fred Astaire, except he didn't finish the dance. And you can't let the Russian players get by you like that because he's going to go in. I think he caught Schwab kind of flat foot a little bit. He come about the back of the net, a little backhander between his legs, but the defenseman makes the play. Corey tried to poke check him a little bit, but didn't get the stick in close enough. There's a good angle right there, and watch that shot go right in the 5-hole. When you poke check like that and you're leaning forward, you're going to create a big opening between your legs, and that, of course, what the Fort Wayne player was looking for, and he found it.
So this is the third time these teams have met here in the month of October. Each time the home team has scored the first goal, and each time the home team has gone on to a victory. The Jacks hoping to change that trend here tonight as they surrender the opening goal and will be whistled for an icing call with 14:52 to go in the first period of play. Jacks held off the Komets 3-2 back at Gund Arena 10 days ago and then dropped a 7-2 decision. last Saturday night here at Memorial Coliseum. Former Barons, including Freddie Glover and Larry Zeidel, will be at Gund Arena on November 14th when Fifth Third Bank presents Barons Heritage Night, supported by Fox Sports Ohio. The Jacks will wear replica Barons road uniforms to honor the 35th anniversary of the Barons 1963-64 Championship Series. And my friends, operators are standing by right now at the Gund Arena box office. If you purchase 4 tickets to Heritage Night during this broadcast, you receive a free copy of the Barons hardcover book, Forgotten Glory. The phone number 216-420-0000. And my friends, operators are standing by right now. It is a mini family night, if you will. You'll get a lot of perks. Call right now for more information or to order your 4 tickets right now. Barons Heritage Night coming up back at Gund Arena. Komets up by a score of 1-0. Martin's pass across the green. This one ends up back in the corner. John Cullen in on the near side. Rubs out Boyce. Cullen tried to clear. Put it right in the slot. There's an opportunity for Boyce. Knocked out of harm's way. Peterson on the backhand gets it out to center ice. He connects with Mike McBain. Here comes the Jacks defenseman. There's a blast and a blocker pad save made by Racine. Rebound cleared by Boyce to center, picked up by Dave Basigio. Man trapped in the zone. That was Corey Spring, and the offsides call brings a face-off to neutral ice with 13:55 now left in the first period of play.
Right now, Dave, the Lumberjacks aren't in sync with each other. Dave Basigio on that last shift looking for some help from his wingers. He looks up, he's got a 2-on-1 against him, and he elects to take one of the players. And again, you're talking about odd man advantages. Forwards have to come back and help the defense. You can't be watching at the blue line, letting your defense handle all the traffic down low.
Slava Butsayev with his 4th of the season, and that's the difference. Fort Wayne up by a score of 1-0. Butsayev picks it up in on the near side. Tried to feed it back to Dupuis, picked off instead by Callender. There's an odd man rush for the Jacks. A 3-on-2. Harkins, top of the face-off circle, tried to pull the trigger, gets it back to Pack. He's got a lane to the net, takes the drive, traffic in front of Racine, who makes the stop, and a penalty coming up on the play. Guy Dupuis getting a little physical with Jock Callender, and it's going to be a holding penalty that gives the Jacks their first power play of the night.
Good rush by the Lumberjacks coming out of the zone. Brett Harkins leading the rush. Good 2-on-1, makes the play. Again, Jock Callender going to the net, forcing the Fort Wayne defenseman to pull him down, just where Jock likes to pull himself. And there's the tackle right there on Jock Callender.
Never ceases to amaze me. 37 years of age, Jock Callender has worn a Lumberjacks uniform for 14 seasons. He's got 3 points on the young year now, and has also assumed the role of player assistant coach. Where do you find this 37-year-old veteran? Right in front of the net, taking a beating, and I'm sure that's where we'll see him on this power play, which starts for the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Down 1-0. Harkins on the backhand, sends it back into the corner. There you get a look at the numbers. Komets have killed off 81.4% of their shorthanded situations. Jacks have 3 players with 2 power play goals apiece. However, one of them out of the lineup, Jason Ruff. Trying to sneak it in the short side was Peterson. Back to Harkins. Winds a big blast and a sliding save from Sorokin. Backdoor play. Basigio was there but couldn't find the back of the net. Rolls off the end of his stick into the corner. Peterson maintains possession. 1:23 left in the penalty against Dupuis. Jacks working with the man advantage. Taken by Harkins, top of the face-off circle, dishes it offside of the net. Peterson in front again. Basigio moving in from the point. Taken now by Belanger around the goal for Peterson. Quick puck movement on the far side. Harkins continues. Peterson back to the point. Belanger dishes it off. Harkins back to Belanger. One-timer coming up, slap shot on the fly. Knocked down and out of the zone as Harkins has to regroup.
Dave Basigio trying to go to the front of the net and go in back door. The problem with that is you got to make the pass through 2 or 3 Fort Wayne players to get it to him. So those are risky plays, especially early in the hockey games. You got a lot of guys up front who can move it around, and maybe Dave should just be a little bit more patient. When you go down low, you're pressuring the pass.
Harkins in for Basigio. Pass across the grain. Racine came way out. Committed early.
Only Brett Harkins can make a pass like that.
No damage done. Great puck movement from the Jacks, though. Fort Wayne really unable to get the puck out during this short-handed situation. You see the penalty time left. Pass in front. Spring got a piece of it. So did the goaltender. Racine makes the save. Harkins back to Belanger. There's a shot. Bouncing around in the slot. Off a skate and finally cleared out to center ice again. Could be a break for Boguniecki. Boguniecki short-handed. Walks in alone. Makes a move. Shoots. And a save made by Schwab. Corey Schwab holds on. And we'll have the face-off in Cleveland territory.
Boy, I was just about to comment that this power play had been out there almost the entire 2 minutes, and consequently what happens is you get a tired Dave Basigio going on the ice. He's bent over in exhaustion. Got to be careful on that. Here's a grid save by Corey Schwab. Just stays right with him. This time he shuts the 5-hole where the player was trying to go through, but no way. Corey Schwab stays with him at the top of the paint. just closes that 5-hole.
Bob, the good news is Corey Schwab has come up huge on 2 occasions. He's been faced point blank by some of the snipers on this Komets club. The bad news is that he's already faced a total of 6 shots and given up 1 goal in the first half of this opening period. As Dupuis returns, the Komets are now back at full strength. Jacks maintain possession. Bond Sr. pass right out in front. Snapped wide by Persian. Deep in the Fort Wayne zone, picked off by Sorokin, who steers it up the boards and back into the Cleveland end. Eric Levine, big number 55, puts on the brakes. Icing called against the Fort Wayne Komets. And with 11:11 left in the first period of play, we will step aside. Komets have a 1-0 lead on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
You don't have to be a pro athlete to need sports medicine and rehab. Sure, a lot of the people you see in the Peak at Marymount make their living on the playing field, but a lot of them don't. They're firemen and architects and moms, too, and they all have the same thing in common. They need to get back on the job. For professional sports medicine and rehab, call the Peak at 663-0080 and get back into action. Sports Medicine Center of the Cleveland Crunch and Lumberjacks.
This is a typical small business line of credit. And this is Key's responsive line of credit. It responds with a credit line increase of 25% instantly. For emergencies, to grab opportunities, or to help whip the competition. It's only from Key, one of America's leading small business banks. To learn more or to apply, call 1-888-KEY-4-BIZ. You could make a new friend. Key, help at every turn.
5-on-5 situation, midway point of the opening period. John Cullen in on the Jacks bench.
John Cullen watched him in that last shift and scored a career high 110 points. Pittsburgh Penguins and Hartford. He was a strong player. This kid can play hockey.
Nice to see him healthy and back in a hockey uniform, making his Lumberjacks debut. As the Komets push it up ice, Waugh with a shot blocked on the way through. Waugh ran into Levine. They continue to battle. Loose puck in the meantime, picked up by Bond Sr. Bond Sr. weaves his way through the neutral zone. Help from Betek, who snaps one in, but that's going to be an offsides call with 10:48 left in the first period of play. A look at Edward Persian. Eric Levine dropping the gloves. The Jacks will hold an auction of the Jacks player Warren Barron's jerseys. That's coming up November 23rd at Windows on the River in the Flats. $25 tickets include a buffet, dinner, and cash bar. The entire Jacks team will also be there. Proceeds benefit Jacks Charities and the Doug Deacon Foundation. Tickets available now at 216-420-0000. And don't forget, if you order 4 tickets to Barron's Heritage Night, you'll pick up a copy of Gene Keychek's Forgotten Glory, a hardcover book, and also some great food coupons redeemable at Gund Arena for that night. So pick up the phone right now. Tickets start at just $10. 216-420-0000. A couple of penalties given to a couple of tough customers as you get a look at Grant Saunier, the rookie head coach, in behind the Fort Wayne bench.
Well, Eric Levine and Sean Penn, I don't imagine it'll be without the rest of the night. Grant Saunier making a debut. Grant doing a nice job here with Fort Wayne.
Taking over for John Torchetti, who assumed the reins as general manager of the International Hockey League's Detroit Vipers at the tail end of last season. As a matter of fact, the last game John Torchetti coached, that loss to the Cleveland Lumberjacks, who upset the Fort Wayne Komets in the opening round of the playoffs. Here comes Jim Pack. Shot save made by Racine. Bouncing puck lands in front of Sorokin on the backhand to center ice behind Butsayev, who had to wait for it. Holds up, throws it to open ice. On Senior on the backhand, sweeps at it. Campbell takes it instead. Campbell on the backhand into Nemirovsky, who played most of last season with the NHL's Florida Panthers. Nemirovsky's pass to Butsayev, one save, and another from Schwab, who holds on.
That's textbook right there, Dave. Just standing up on his feet, letting the puck come to him, square to the puck, staying on his feet. Here he makes 1 or 2 saves. There's a good save, and he gets back up, and he gets himself set. Again, square to the puck, and lets the puck come to him. Now he's just going to say, guys, we're going to settle this thing down and get a whistle here. How about that last rush? He had 2 defensemen, Pack and Larocque going up the ice. When you're in the bench and you're the coach, what do you think about 2 of your defensemen are leading the rush on a 4-on-4 on the ice? Reminded me of Ray Clearwater and Paul Schmier.
Speaking of the Barons and old-timers, not that they're old-timers.
They're old now. They weren't old then.
McBain in on the near side, bumped by Lehterä. Coming away with it, it's Cullen. Cullen tried to thread the needle, get it into Harkins, who was on the receiving end of an inadvertent high stick. However, play continues. Cullen from the right wing boards. Back toward the blue line. McBain couldn't hold it in. Here comes Lehterä to center ice. Tiro Lehterä dropped it off for Purdie. Purdie overskates the puck, and it looks like the ice may be chopped up or in pretty poor condition. We've seen a couple of guys fan on pucks or pucks left behind, bouncing around, reach it back for him.
You had mentioned earlier, it's warmer than normal in this building tonight also. Usually it's pretty cool in here.
On the eve of Halloween, the orange and black of the Fort Wayne Komets, led by Ian Boyce. This one blasted up over the glass and on a play. 9:04 left in the first period. 16 seconds left in the coincidental minor penalties given to Eric Levine and Sean Penn out of Miami of Ohio. Clark is giving you the opportunity to be a VIP for a day. Stop by your local Clark stations and sign up for the VIP night sweepstakes, and you might just win tickets in the Jacks Suite at Gund Arena for a Jacks game. Discounted ticket coupons available with a purchase of a 16-ounce cup of coffee at Superior Coffee for just 59 cents. See stores for details. Get on the go with Clark and the Jacks. A long-range drive turned aside by Schwab. Play continues up on the near side. Komets have the game's only goal off the stick of Slava Butsayev. Boyce picking up a high stick. Play continues. Crowd reacts, and now play is stopped. The officials for tonight's game are referee Kevin Hall, linesman Brian Aaron, and Scott Hoberg, as Ian Boyce is going to get some further medical attention from Komets athletic trainer Gary Hall. We will step aside in the meantime. 8:48 to go in the first. Komets have a 1-0 lead on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Frank,
room service
in play. Yeah. Hang on a second, Frank. Yeah, give me that Stroh's right there. Yeah. No.
Shall I open the Stroh's, sir?
Yes. No.
Shall I pour the Stroh's, sir?
No, absolutely.
For more taste and more character.
It'll happen.
Shall I drink the Stroh's for you, sir?
Go for it. You hear me?
There's only fire-brewed Stroh's.
Sir, if there's nothing else.
Yeah. So anyway, Frank.
Unscrew a fire brew.
Frank, I'll call you back.
Hey, you want to see some cool shots?
What's the coolest show on TV?
The coolest game on earth has the hottest half hour on TV.
Let me see it. Heads up, heads up.
There's a safety tip. Don't play with the lure.
I'm bleeding. What are you
Excuse
doing?
me, you're interfering with my light. Anyway, here's net protectors.
Wow.
Hey, you're a pro in this.
Hey, hi.
Hey, Jen.
How are you?
That's a wrap for cool shots.
Ian Boyce taken to the Komets dressing room with the assistance of trainer Gary Hall, apparently for some further medical attention. In the meantime, first period action continues. Slava Butsayev's fourth of the season is the difference. Jacks find themselves down 1-0 as Delisle takes it in his own zone. Xavier Delisle sprints to the right wing boards. Played it ahead for Spring, who got it to Peterson. Broken up by the Komets in the neutral zone. Pass ahead, picked off by Levine. Levine's pass off the skate of Wood, again back into the Cleveland zone. Pettick up the left wing boards. Campbell steps up offsides at the Cleveland blue line with 8:02 left in the first.
Coach Gancher giving Cullen a little break there and getting to Delisle on the ice. Delisle taking a shift for John Cullen.
Kind of a strange injury to Ian Boyce, who's in the dressing room now. You'll see his own player actually clip him. I believe that was number 9, Mike Martin, who was trying to poke the Jacks defenseman, and the stick came up and hit Boyce on the way through. So an inadvertent high stick from that man has sent his teammate into the Komets dressing room. Feel the power of ice with stylish Jacks merchandise. The Jacks team shop located at the Great Northern Plaza South in North Olmsted. It features Jacks jerseys, team caps, and much, much more. The Jacks team shop is also a Ticketmaster location. 1-800-JACKS-24 for more information. International Hockey League merchandise hot, especially at this time of year. That gift-giving season just around the corner, and there's a little guy in a Fort Wayne Komets uniform.
Can't get that at the Lumberjacks store over in Great Northern Mall, which I frequent quite a bit.
A look at the Jacks bench, a bit bewildered here.
Getting their skating legs, getting their game legs, Dave. Getting a feel for the game. There was a little apprehension coming into the game after you get beat 7-2. You want to make sure that doesn't happen again, so you're trying to play a little bit more careful.
Here we go, right off the face-off. Selmser from the Komets and Larocque from the Lumberjacks. Mario Larocque leads to the right, then lost his balance, got tackled down to the ice, coming over the top with another right is Selmser. Sean Selmser trying to send a statement.
Let me tell you what's happening here. They're trying to get Larocque out of the game because he's the only fighter that they've got. So now they sent Sean Penn out there. Now you got this guy going after him. So obviously, Saunier wants Larocque out of the game. No doubt in my mind that this is what they're trying to do. The Lumberjacks don't have a lot of heavyweights in their lineup, and getting Larocque out of there just certainly weakens any fighters that they have.
This morning, Bob, at the morning skate, I had the chance to watch the Komets practice in the stands with Jack's head coach, Perry Ganter, and I asked him what the background on Grant Saunier was, and he said he was more of a textbook coach who had a physical education degree, kind of a teacher, if you will. That's the approach he takes to the game. But Perry also mentioned on his way to the locker room before Cleveland's practice that man, Grant Saunier, is not afraid to play the physical game, which is not necessarily what you get from textbook coaches.
Well, if you look in their lineup, and you got Sean Penn in their lineup, and then they got this fellow that just fought here right now. These guys are Selmser. These guys are fighters. They're out there for one purpose and one purpose only.
So 5-minute fighting penalties given to Sean Selmser and Mario Larocque. It remains a 5-on-5 situation with the Komets up 1-0. Pack on the backhand feeds Levine. Here comes Eric Levine. Tipped down to the zone. Gloves dropped again. Here goes Levine and Penn. Levine and Sean Penn. Sean Penn, as I mentioned, out of Miami of Ohio. A heavyweight battle going on at center ice. Levine has lost his helmet, is wrestled down by Penn, and presumably no further punches thrown as the linesmen Brian Aaron and Scott Hoberg step in to separate the two combatants. And a pretty good crowd, a near capacity crowd here at Memorial Coliseum, enjoying the start to this game. Their team has the game's only goal, 2 full-fledged altercations, which we know hockey fans love, and Memorial Coliseum is rocking and a-rolling on a Friday night.
Well, the Lumberjacks now, that's 2 of their defensemen that are gone. Fortunately for Ganter, he started 6 defensemen here tonight, whereas Saunier, he started 5.
Seems like both of these altercations, the one featuring Selmser and Larocque, and now this one, as you see, with Levine and Penn, actually started well before the two combatants were even within close proximity. These guys knew they were dropping the gloves well before they got close.
There's no doubt that they were tagging each other long before that shift had started. They had gone earlier in the match. Had kind of talked to each other while they were in the penalty box. I was kind of looking for them when they had come out of the penalty box in their first altercation to see if they'd wanted to go then, but they waited till they got back into regular play. Gancher's got to send someone over to the penalty box for Larocque, and right now he is sending Pershin over.
Gee, Bob, as physical as the sport is, do you think the fact that these clubs, arch rivals to begin with, have met 3 times in the last 10 days, do you think that has anything to do with it?
How many times are they playing each other this year, Dave?
7 times total, but 3 here in the last 10 days. Tempers flaring. Now it's the Komets. Play resumes. Shagorowski tipped around him to center ice by Delisle. Shagorowski picks it off and pulls it back inside his own zone. Eric Levine gets an extra penalty, a 2-minute minor for instigating, so there's now a Komets power play in progress. You see the time left, 1:38 in the Komets power play. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first period. Picked up by Butsayev on the backhand. He connects with Lehterä. Lehterä back around the goal, picked off by Butsayev. 10th round draft pick of the Philadelphia Flyers all the way back in 1990. Slava Butsayev has it. He also has the game's only goal. Butsayev with a return pass. Back to the point, Shagorowski. Butsayev top of the circle. Trying to thread the needle. Knocked down was Bedick. Crowd reacts, and a penalty coming up on the play. Is Butsayev going to get the gate here for taking down Bedick? I think so. The crowd doesn't like it.
Well, I got to question that call myself. Bedick went right at him, and he turned. Well, no, I guess we stand to be corrected because in the penalty box was Lane Lambert, and that had to have been behind the play. I did not see that one, David. We were both questioning the call. That doesn't, like, you know, Perry Ganter told me before the game, he said, listen, well, I know this is going to be a physical hockey game, but I told my guys, we don't want to back down from anybody, but the one thing we don't want to do is take foolish penalties. They have a very good power play. They move the puck very well, and let's not give them any advantage at all. And here we are, we're down 5-on-3.
Last Saturday, down 3-1 on the score clock. The Jacks had a 5-on-3 advantage for an entire 2 minutes and did not capitalize. Shortly after that, the Komets came back and made it a 4-1 game and then cruised to a 7-2 victory. victory. Well, here it's the Komets with a 5-on-3 advantage early in the hockey game. 55 seconds left in that first penalty called against Eric Levine. So a 2-man advantage for the Fort Wayne Komet power play. Shagorowski along the line to Purdie, bottom of the faceoff circle. Purdie across for Shagorowski. Down low, Nemirovsky tried to send it in short side, missed the mark, and Purdie holds it in. Across the line, Shagorowski and Purdie play catch. Purdie intercepted and sent all the way down by Brett Harkins. Picked up and steered out by the goaltender. Racine to Shagorowski, quickly ahead for Nemirovsky. Nemirovsky held up by Butsayev. They continue to battle deep in the Cleveland zone. Butsayev, 19 seconds left in this 2-man advantage for the Komets, who have a 1-0 lead. Butsayev back to the line. Purdie, now Shagorowski, down low, Nemirovsky right out in front. Sliding shot from Lehterä, gloved up and held on. Schwab doing a nice job to slow the tempo here, knowing his penalty killers had been on the ice for a while. Schwab is going to force a faceoff with 8 seconds left in the 5-on-3 advantage. And 57 seconds left in that penalty against Lane Lambert.
Nice job of penalty killing by Dave Butsayev and Mike McBain and Brett Harkins. Brett Harkins playing up on the diamond and moving the puck around, keeping the puck to the outside. They did get a couple down low, but Schwab was right there to make the save. So a nice job of penalty killing. Hopefully we can continue here for the next 5 to 10 seconds.
Jim Pack with a chance to clear, failed to get it out on the backhand. In the meantime, a 1-man returns out of the penalty box for the Lumberjacks as Persian. He was serving that extra minor for Eric Levine. There's a drive, kick save, and a beauty from Schwab. Sneaking in was Selmser, getting that shot off. And now it's Bawa in on the near side, back to the blue line. Bawa from the right wing boards, watched by Callender, held up, back to Callender, and out come the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Still short-handed. Callender trying to rag some time off that penalty clock will now gingerly send it back into the Fort Wayne zone and head to the bench in favor of a change. Behind the goal, it is Sorokin. One-time New York Rangers prospect Lee Sorokin, a second-round pick of the Blue Shirts back in 1993. Plays this one in on goal. Schwab again doesn't want to take any chances. He will smother it with 5 seconds left in the penalty against Lane Lambert.
On that shot, Corey Schwab again just square to the puck. His reaction time is so smooth. He does things so well. He reads the play, and then he's setting himself up. He's square to the puck, and he always seems to take the the puck right in the middle of his body.
Corey Schwab, his last start back on October 20th, 10 days ago, 29 saves in a 3-2 victory over Fort Wayne back at Gund Arena.
He's been off for a while, that's correct, and he's still pretty sharp. Works hard in practice. I'm having the good fortune out at the Sportsplex to watch the Lumberjacks practice.
Dupuis with a screen shot, gloved down by Schwab.
Corey always takes extra shots. He's working real hard. He likes to stay up.
4:53 to go in the first period of play. The game's only goal so far belongs to Slava Butsayev. We will step aside with the Komets up 1-0 on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Jacks Pro Hockey at Gund Arena is full of vicious slap shots. Unbelievable saves! It's also great family fun with non-stop action, giveaway events, and special theme nights. The Jacks have season ticket plans that fit every budget and schedule, along with great benefits and discounts. I can't wait.
Jacks 1998-99 full season, half season, and flex plan packages on sale now. Call the Jacks at 216-420-0000 for information on the ticket plan that's best for you.
What's this stuff? Yuck! No. I'm out of here, Jack. Whoa! I got standards, you know. Nice try, big fella. Going up. Look out, I'm coming through. See ya!
If you want the best, come to your Sherwin-Williams store. It's the only place to get Sherwin-Williams paint.
Everyone into the pool. Oh,
when only the best will do, ask Sherwin-Williams.
Slava Butsayev's 4th of the season is the difference as the Jacks find themselves down 1-0 here in the first period of play. A look at John Cullen making his Lumberjacks debut after beating, thankfully, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a form of cancer. Drive right on, saving a beauty made from one of Cullen's best friends with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Corey Schwab, who's had a strong first period.
Boy, Corey, that's the first time I've seen Corey go down on his shot. See, right there, he took that off the shoulder. When you're down like that, it's hard to play the puck when you take it off the shoulder. If it gets away from you, you can't redirect the puck like you can when you're standing up on your feet.
Look at that. John Cullen holds the IHL single-season record with 157 points. That was in his rookie season. Oddly enough, he beat out Lumberjacks All-Star Dave Mikhailuk for the scoring race. last season. This one lofted back into the Fort Wayne zone. We will hear from John Cullen more about this dramatic story coming up during tonight's second intermission. Played deep inside the Fort Wayne zone. Here in the first period, Jacks down 1-0. Pass in front for Spring. Broken up. Dupuis to center ice, and a 3-on-1 rush for the Komets, led by Purdie. Purdie to Boyce. Boyce bobbled it at the last moment. Sent it out in front. Still getting a good scoring chance out of it was Robin Bawa. Schwab was there to hold on. Some extracurricular activity after the whistle tempers flair, but quickly cool as you see Robin Bawa on the gash that he suffered over his right eye, wearing a plastic visor. He was cut at the game on Tuesday night 10 days ago back in Cleveland. In the third period of play, as you got to look at the play develop once again. Jacks with a defenseman caught up ice. That's Jim Pack trying to get back.
Well, Jimmy thought he could read the play. He thought he was going to be able to sneak in and maybe get the shot on goal, but it was tipped behind him, and consequently, when a forward doesn't come back to help out, that leaves a 3-on-1 coming out of the zone.
On the backhand, sent in for Lehterä. Lehterä turned around by McBain. Loose puck for Nemirovsky. Puts on the brakes, tries to shake Basigio. Basigio stays with him. Nemirovsky spinning like the Tasmanian devil in behind the goal. Lost it. And Basigio was there to mop up that mess. He'll get it as far as the hash marks where it's held in by Lehterä momentarily. Calendar to center ice. Basigio is going to join the rush. Here comes veteran defenseman Dave Basigio. Campbell knocks him from behind. Sent side of the net. Racine holds on. And with 3:41 left in the first, face off in the Fort Wayne zone. Offer your kids the coolest birthday party in town with a Super Kmart Jacks Birthday Bash. Groups of 10 or more receive discounted tickets to a Jacks game and a special pregame party with Jacks prizes and a visit from Buzz. Call the Lumberjacks today, 216-420-0000 to sign up for a birthday party to remember. One thing to say to that, Buzz didn't show up at my birthday party. Last Saturday night we were here in Fort Wayne. Some real important people celebrating birthdays this week, Bob. I hope you realize that.
Yes, I do.
Dave Basigio celebrated a birthday 2 days ago on the 28th. Ditto for Perry Gancher. Myself last Saturday. Like I said, some very important people celebrating birthdays.
Got a very good friend of mine up in Hanover, Ontario, celebrating a birthday on Halloween. Howard D. Armand.
Is that why you're wearing that costume tonight?
That's right,
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
That's what I look like.
That's not a mask. Stoppage of play, face-off coming up. Perry Gancher looks a bit concerned in behind the Cleveland bench.
I spent last evening painting the ice out at the Sportsplex.
Coming up in our first intermission, we'll get up close and personal with Jacks veteran forward Brett Harkins, a Cleveland area native. Stay tuned for that. Also, we'll get the thoughts of General Manager Larry Gordon on his working agreement with the Tampa Bay Lightning, stats, scores, and highlights. All of that and more coming up after 20 minutes here tonight.
I want to talk to you about, I mentioned I was painting the Sportsplex. I want to talk to you about the crease here in Fort Wayne. It's not right. They don't have the correct markings on it.
Taken by Sorokin, up the left wing boards for Waugh. Waugh bumped by Lambert, out with a 3-on-2 as Sorokin jumping up on the play. Pass over, Boguniecki couldn't feather it over. Picked off instead by Bedek. Out of the zone it comes. Odd man rushes in both directions. There's an offsides call, and I don't think either coach really wanted to keep it this wide open as you get a look at the goal crease.
Take a look at the crease. Where the corner meets is wrong. That should come out about an extra 3 inches. But I can't blame the people in Fort Wayne because the schematic that we got shows exactly the way that they have it here at Fort Wayne. But a friend of mine by the name of Pat Hoynes, who put the high school, Orange High School hockey program together, brought a schematic of it, and we did it correctly. So the goaltender actually here in Fort Wayne is a bit of a disadvantage.
Interesting, too, because last year that goal crease was a complete semicircle, so you could have been 3 feet away from the goalpost. If you were in the crease, a goal was disallowed if indeed it went in. Well, they kind of cut that goal crease off at the corners to increase scoring, yet it doesn't seem to have had that effect. At least some of the early season studies they've done, it doesn't seem to have had that effect.
No, it hasn't. And by moving the blue lines out an extra 2 feet, they thought he'd have more room behind the net. I haven't seen that add out a lot of scoring. Maybe the players haven't figured out yet how to use it.
Scoring is actually down in the NHL. Picked up by Lambert, backhand feed, Pack, out come the Lumberjacks, led now by Lambert. Up along the right wing boards, crosses with Persian. Persian goes wide on Shekaratsky, pulled it out in front, shot and a save made. Rebound there for McBain, another drive. Oh, somehow it was kicked out by Racine. Jacks still have the prime pressure, McBain, and Racine kicks it back into the corners. Best scoring chance of the night, a flurry for the Jacks. Now it's Boguniecki the other way. He ran into Basigio. Here comes Bonsignor, 2-on-1, now 3-on-1. Bonsignor to Persian. There's a shot, trickles off the end of his stick. Good action here, good pressure from the Jacks. Persian got his shot off. He was wrapping up the tail end of a long shift. I think Purdie is a bit winded after a couple of scoring chances. Racine comes way out behind the net, made the save, had thoughts of putting it back in play, and then found himself staring at Jason Bond Sr. A standing ovation for goaltender Bruce Racine from the crowd here at Memorial Coliseum.
Again, Bruce Racine just standing up, a lot like Corey Schwab, just letting the puck come to him and being square to it, trying to take it in with the middle frame of his body. That probably, right there, was probably the best shift that Jason Bond Sr. has had this year for a Cleveland Lumberjack. He helped very much he came back, there was an odd man rush, Jason was back, broke up the play, turned around down the other end, he set up his players at a couple of nice feeds and created some scoring opportunities for his line mates. I felt that was probably Jason Bond Sr.'s best shift as a Cleveland Lumberjack.
Jason Bond Sr. acquired by the Tampa Bay Lightning from Edmonton along with Steve Kelly and Brian Marchment in exchange for Roman Hammerlick and Paul Comrie back on December 30th of last season.
So much expected from that young man right there. So much expected from Jason Marchment. So much talent that young man has.
First-round draft pick, actually taken 4th overall back in 1994 by general manager Glenn Sather and the Edmonton Oilers. Do you realize that Jason Bond Sr. was the highest ever draft pick by Glenn Sather, Paul Coffey, Mark Messier included?
Yes.
The highest ever. And you talk about expectations. You're not kidding. Taken now by Spring to center ice on the backhand for Cullen. John Cullen weaving his way into enemy territory from the right wing boards. Cullen plays it deep. Spring takes over. Exactly 1 minute left here in the first period of play. Komets up 1-0. Steered on the near side. Tipped out by Boyce. This one travels back into the Cleveland zone. First man back for it is McBain. Tries to catch the Komets on a change with a quick pass. The outlet to Basigio. Ahead to Callender. Back into Komets territory once again. Martin bumped by a fellow number 9. That's Belanger. Loose puck. Giving chase. Larocque takes over. Larocque watched by Butsayev. Circles his own net. Dishes it off for Pack. Pack to center ice. Picked up by Martin. Martin's pass off the mark for Dupuis. That's going to bring the goaltender Bruce Racine, who signed an NHL contract with the San Jose Sharks after leading the IHL with 34 victories last season. Quickly up ice. Here comes Butsayev. 15 seconds left in the opening period of play. Butsayev, bottom of the face-off circle, tries to shake Larocque, who lost an edge, goes down. Butsayev's pass right out in front. Pinballs into the corner. 7 seconds left. Out to center ice comes Jim Pack in his 12th season. Pack dished it off. This one steered by Callender. And at the buzzer, we get some pushing and shoving between Jock Callender from the Lumberjacks and Ed Campbell from the Fort Wayne Komets. There's a look at the game's only goal scorer so far, and there's the guy he beat. Slava Butsayev beat Corey Schwab low on the backhand, and after 1 period of play, from Memorial Coliseum, the Fort Wayne Komets will take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room. Bob and I return. An up-close and personal feature with Brett Harkins and more next on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Just going to beat you wide. Good saves again around the Racine, making a couple of big saves. This should have been a tie ball game right there. Bruce Racine coming up big for the Fort Wayne Komets.
Bruce Racine stopping all 11 shots that he faced in that first period as we get things going here in the second. Campbell on the backhand, back toward the Jacks line. Both teams start period 2, skating at even strength, 5 aside. Racine comes out, steers it out to center ice. Picked up in the neutral zone and steered back toward the Jacks line. That's going to be an offsides call. As you get a look at Corey Spring, one of the alternate captains of the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Perry Gancher in behind the bench.
Well, one of the things that Gancher was pleased with in that first period is that his team established that they were not going to back down from the Fort Wayne Komets, that they were going to play right with them. So now that that's established, hopefully we can get on here, play some good hockey in the second period.
Sorokin steers it back into the Jacks end to Mike McBain, the younger brother of former Lumberjacks defenseman Jason McBain, who last year wore number 25 as a defensive prospect with the Carolina Hurricanes. McBain, now of course one of the young defensive prospects for the Tampa Bay Lightning. This one steered back inside the Cleveland end, steered by goaltender Corey Schwab up the left wing boards. Tied up in the linesman's skates. Campbell has to wait for his line mate to get back on sides. Bawa steps back out in the Jacks end, taken by Spring in on the near side. Spring got his stick up in the face of Wood. Play continues, and now Spring gets a couple of words from Robin Bawa. Bob, that is the third inadvertent yet flagrant high stick that we've seen here through 1+ periods tonight.
Well, again, it was an inadvertent. Corey Spring going after the puck. No penalty was called on the play. It wasn't a deliberate attack. And I don't, I know you get hit in the face and sometimes things happen, but boy, a lot of times these guys go down and you know, they're wearing the helmets and the shields and everything else. They go down at the least little thing trying to draw the penalty. Look at that. They're looking at him right there. He doesn't have a mark on him.
Grant Saunier in behind.
You and I got more marks on ourselves.
Got myself shaving this morning. Covered up by Schwab. Now, Grant Saunier very animated in behind the Fort Wayne bench. I think very displeased that a high sticking penalty was not called on that last play.
Well, he was down going low for the puck, and Spring is going for it. Those things are going to happen. It's all part of the game. Anymore, you see a lot of guys taking these dives and these balls looking for the penalty call, and they show the close-up of the guy. Still got all his teeth. What kind of a hockey player is he?
Old-time hockey in an old-time barn. Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana, America's heartland. Bob Whitten
Once
and
the
Dave
farm
Miller.
club for the Montreal Canadiens.
Beautiful building if you like the old hockey barns. Holds just over 8,000. As Lambert takes a drive right on. Kick save made by Racine. Another drive ends up going up over the glass and out of play. Former Barons including Freddie Glover and Larry Zeidel at Gund Arena November 14th. Fifth Third Bank presents Barons Heritage Night supported by Fox Sports Ohio. Fans, Jacks will be wearing their replica Barons Road uniforms to honor the 35th anniversary of the Barons championship team back in 1964. Operators are standing by right now. Pick up the phone, call 216-420-0000. Order at least 4 tickets to the game, and you will get a copy of Forgotten Glory, an outstanding book that chronicles Cleveland's hockey history, Cleveland's rich hockey history. And 4 tickets right now. Call. Our operators are standing by. Scott Harrington and company back at the gun.
I'm trying to wonder who the goaltender was for that team, and I'm not sure whether it was Morissette. Could have been Les Binkley. Les Binkley, a scout for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
You know who's playing goal tonight?
4.
Well, it's Corey Schwab to our left in the Cleveland goal, and Bruce Racine to the goal on our right as Bonsignor was ready to unload one. Juan Pack, in the meantime, exchange words at center ice, and they are quickly separated by the linesmen. 1 minute, 52 seconds into the second period of play. Stumped you with that goaltender question.
Yeah, you sure did, Dave. You really got me there.
Dangerous trend here, Bob, developing. The Komets are out shooting the Jacks 16-12, a modest margin, but when you take a look at it, the Fort Wayne Komets are averaging an Eastern Conference high 35 shots on goal per game, while the Cleveland Lumberjacks are giving up an Eastern Conference high 3.7 goals against per game. So once again, the Komets testing Corey Schwab with shot after shot. He's got to be sharp. And it's Fort Wayne up by a score of 1-0 as Martin has it back in his own end.
And it appears to me that Fort Wayne is trying very hard to get the Cleveland Lumberjacks to retaliate. They're taking the body and then they're hanging around hoping that the referee will see it as retaliation for the odd man advantage. And that's one thing that Perry Gancher told his players, don't retaliate.
Bonsignor in, glove save, and a beauty from Racine as he juggles it, then snags it and holds on.
Well, that was a big save. Jason Monsignor walking in off the off wing. He's got the right-handed shot walking off the left wing. He's trying to go up top over Bruce Racine's left shoulder. Bruce Racine just hung with him and made the big glove save. There's got a perfect shot, good angle shot right there. You can see Monsignor, he wants to go over the left shoulder. Bruce Racine right there. This great camera work right here. Look at this great save. And again, Bruce Racine staying right up, doesn't go down, forcing Monsignor to go high.
You saw the reverse angle look at it and the low angle camera coming right into your living room. We have established one of the finest television crews ever known to man here in Fort Wayne tonight. Our privilege working with each and every member of this crew, many of which will be going on to do various college football games tomorrow, some in Bowling Green, some in Michigan State, and some other places. But what a great crew we've got for you here tonight. Cleveland Lumberjacks find themselves down by a score of 1-0. It's picked up by McBain off the glass, out to center ice, travels back into the Komet zone, picked up by Campbell. Ed Campbell at his own end, a New York Rangers draft pick, 9th back in 1993 in the neutral zone, picked off. Calendar on the backhand, ran into Lehterä. Belanger, Harkins, Calendar's got room from the slot. Calendar dished it off, backhand shot from Belanger, and Racine stacks the pads and holds on. What a stop from Racine. Back with more second period action next. 16:38 to go, and the Komets up 1-0 on the Jacks Hockey Network and Fox Sports Ohio.
What's he got in mind for me now? Ow! Whoa! take it easy there. Yeah, as if a stain is going to come off this paint. Keep scrubbing, lady. Keep scrubbing.
Only your Sherwin-Williams store has a truly washable flat latex. Sherwin-Williams EverClean.
Now that's smooth, baby. Yeah.
When only the best will do. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
As a Cash Explosion winner, I'd like to offer future players a little advice. 1, remain calm. I mean, we're only talking $200,000 and a new car.
And $700 is...
2, don't move around a lot, or the camera can't find you.
Champion.
And last, thank Paul in a dignified manner. Winning is easy on Cash Explosion. Just stay cool.
Play the Cash Explosion instant game today.
There's nothing to get excited about.
Great scoring chance for Jock Callender.
Well, here's a good play. Bruce Racine reading the play and being very patient. That's just veteran goaltending right there. He recognizes that he's got someone breaking for the net. He focuses in on that player, but still maintains and knows where the puck is at all times.
So the Komets hold on to this 1-0 lead. Out they come to center ice, led by Purdie. Stiff check there. LaRocca on Purdie drives him into the boards. He's back behind the Jacks' nets. Dug out of the corner, sliding effort there from Butsayev. The pass still managed to get through, but out come the Jacks. Fast break to center ice. Peterson glancing over both his shoulders, doesn't see any help, and now drops it off for Cullen from the right wing boards. John Cullen wears number 12, has for 9 seasons in the National Hockey League, wears number 11. Talking with Jacks equipment manager Bill Staley, said, hey, you want to wear number 12? I'll ask Brent Peterson. Peterson offered it up, and Cullen said, no, I'll wear whatever you got. So he's wearing number 11, and that's whistled down on the offsides. 15:57 to go in the second period of play.
Two-line offside pass.
A look there at Derek Wood, and now Grant Saunier in behind the Komets bench, his first season. Tight race in that Central Division. When you take a look at it, just 3 points from top to bottom. Yes, it's early in the season, but these interdivisional games mean so much, whether they're played in October, November, March, or April.
Well, you call interdivisional play, those are 4-pointers.
Loose puck at center ice, taken by Shagorodsky. Late hit from Bond Sr. And the puck skips up over the glass and out of play. 15:41 left in the second. Tickets on sale now to all Jacks home games, including 7 November dates. Check out the November promotions. Marymount 3-ring binder for kids on November 13th. Fifth Third Bank presents Barron's Heritage Night, supported by Fox Sports Ohio, November 14th. Plus, meet the team at Target Team Postgame Autographs November 22nd. A plethora of events on the November slate. And, of course, tickets are on sale now.
Speaking of Marymount Hospital, what a great feast they had for the players earlier in the week.
Lyle pass in front for Bond Sr. Bennick right in on goal, turned aside with Peterson on the doorstep. That was Lambert being denied by Racine. In on the near side, a 5-on-5 situation continues. Jacks dictating the tempo here. Quick shot from Lambert, and yet another save from Bruce Racine, his 16th in a row to start the game. Let's take a look at the standings. As we mentioned, just 3 points from top to bottom. Indianapolis with a 7-5 victory at Manitoba last night, while Michigan took one on the chin at the Palace of Auburn Hills, losing 6-2 last evening. Cleveland and Fort Wayne idle. Back from the point, another shot and another save from Bruce Racine. Jack's trying to find a way to beat this guy. He has been sharp in the 3 games against Cleveland this season.
Yeah, you see why these games are so important, as you mentioned, Dave, because Cleveland is 2 points ahead of Fort Wayne right now. They win tonight, it's 4 points. They lose tonight, they're tied. And again, they may, you know it's early, you say it's early, but yes, these 2 points come down in March and April. It can be very, very important.
As you saw there, Jim Pack playing in his 400th game in a Lumberjacks uniform. That's not 400th professional game or 400th International Hockey League game. That is his 400th game in a Lumberjacks uniform. Of course, that goes back to the Muskegon Lumberjacks and, of course, the old Cleveland Lumberjacks uniforms as well. Pat pokes this one back into the corner. Hopped on the team bus before practice this morning. Of course, traditionally they come out to the rink about 10:30 or 11 o'clock for a morning skate on the days of games, and I mentioned that to Jim Pack, and he said, really? Had absolutely no idea that it was his 400th game in a Lumberjacks uniform, and the guys get a charge out of that. Jim Pack sits in the vicinity of Lane Lambert and Jock Callender, and of course they had a good chuckle at that one as Bond Sr. dished it out in front. Penalty coming up on the play as the Komets regain possession. Delayed penalty called against Fort Wayne, so the Jacks will be the beneficiaries of a power play here. 14:28 to go in the second period of play.
A cross-checking penalty here. The Lumberjacks doing some excellent work down low and creating the opportunities, scoring opportunities, and therefore the penalty called. And Lane Lambert, I believe, was the recipient of that cross-check. And again, this brings out the Lumberjacks power play. This is a potent power play. If these guys ever get it together, with Harkins centering Jock Callender and Peterson, and then you've got Belanger and Basiggio on the point. There's a lot of offensive power with those 5 gentlemen.
Dave Basiggio, Corey Spring, and the injured Jason Rupp, not in uniform tonight, lead the Jacks with 2 power play goals apiece. Jacks 2 shots on their first power play opportunity, which was unsuccessful. They'll go to work with our second man advantage in the neutral zone. Sorokin kicks it back to the Cleveland line. Niagara Falls, Ontario native Dave Basiggio gets a return pass, makes his way to center. Pass to Harkins in on the near side. He'll send it deep into the Fort Wayne zone. Peterson collides. Steered up the near boards by Martin, cleared but not out. Belanger to Harkins. On the off wing, Harkins is a left-handed shot, working the right wing with the man advantage. Back to the blue line, Harkins patiently holds onto the puck. We heard Derek Wilkinson during that first intermission feature on the career of Brett Harkins talk about how Harkins can so effectively slow the game down, and that was a pretty good example. Just about the time you think he's moving in slow motion, he can turn it to another gear and burn you. This time, the Jacks will have to regroup in their own zone.
One thing with Brett with the puck, you don't want to pressure Brett as a teammate. You don't want to force him to make the bad pass. He'll get it to you. You just have to be patient and get yourself in the open. If you let him he'll set things up with the puck.
Jacks have to regroup in their own zone, have the length of the ice to travel. That journey started by veteran defenseman Jim Pack. His jersey hangs in the NHL Hall of Fame up in Toronto as the first South Korean-born player to play professional hockey. Also won a Stanley Cup, a couple of them, with the 1991 and 1992 Pittsburgh Penguins. Back inside the Komets zone, Jacks continue to work with the man advantage. Cullen right out in front. Spring one times it on goal. Kicked away by Racine, and the rebound promptly cleared out by the Komets. Great scoring chance there. Cullen to Spring, and Racine was there to make the save. Now's an opportunity, but Butsayev slides it home. It's a shorthanded goal, and the Komets lead 2-0.
Well, Corey Schwab got caught trying to help his defense, going behind the net to play the puck, and again, that's miscommunication. When you go behind the net, it's always better for the defenseman to peel off, and you can get him the puck. And the defenseman came right at him, brought the forechecker right at him. And here's where you're going to see it right here. Puck's got to go behind. He just misplayed it and couldn't get back fast enough. Of course, no one there to help out. Better angle right here. Just didn't get control of it, and no one come back. That's miscommunication.
That's also good hands from Slava Butsayev, who picked it up on the backhand, curled his wrist over, wrapped it around, and sent it in the far side. Yes, I agree with your fact that Schwab misplayed the puck back behind the goal, but Slava Butsayev showing
the pressure
his
on
soft hands right there.
Right.
And that is the first shorthanded goal the Jacks have surrendered this season. It's also the first shorthanded goal for the Komets, who have a 2-0 lead with 12:12 to go in the second period on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
This is a typical small business line of credit. And this is Key's responsive line of credit. It responds with a credit line increase of 25% instantly. For emergencies, to grab opportunities, or to help whip the competition. It's only from Key, one of America's leading small business banks. To learn more or to apply, call 1-888-KEY-4BIZ. You could make a new friend. Key, help at every turn.
The Plain Dealer Family Days provide you 4 game tickets, $20 in Gund Arena food coupons, and 4 Jacks Collector hockey pucks, $36 off the already affordable price. November Family Days include November 6th and the 22nd. 216-420-0000 for more information. Big O on the Jacks side of the scoreboard as you get a look at a family enjoying this Friday night showdown. Cleveland Lumberjacks down. Fort Wayne Komets have a 2-0 lead. This one steered back inside. Schwab left it there. Stiff check. Mario Lehterä drilled by Andre Waugh. Play is stopped. I believe a piece of plexiglass in behind the goal may have been dislodged, and the crowd again reacts with a round of applause. Mario Lehterä, I think you might be right, Bob, is a marked man for the Lumberjacks here tonight.
Yeah, he is here. They're going after him. They want him out of the lineup. But Mario's done a nice job of controlling himself and being patient. But I'll tell you what, this kid I watched, he waits for the right opportunity, takes the number, he's going to wait, and when the opportunity comes, he'll get his due. I didn't see what happened there. It looked like Lehterä almost went through the glass. Is it off? I don't see anybody coming over for any repair.
Dislodged a little bit, shakes, rattles, and rolls here. One of the older buildings in the league, they still don't have that.
It's just out of line a little bit up top.
Still have the old partitions, not that seamless glass. The plexiglass in behind Jack's goaltender, Corey Schwab, as Mario Lehterä was just drilled by Andre Waugh.
That was a good check. I mean, he came at him, took his body, got his shoulder down, had the stick down.
So Corey Schwab watching that play develop as the maintenance crew here at Memorial Coliseum rectifies that problem. The hockey world lost a member of its community last week. You remember, Bob, back January 4th, 1989, the fastest 3 goals ever scored in the International Hockey League, just 33 seconds apart. That was done by Jack's head coach Perry Gancher against Denver Rangers goaltender Mike Richter in the first period. Richter, of course, going on to fame and fortune with the NHL's New York Rangers. The backup that night was a young man by the name of Scott Brower, who is now was 34 years of age. He was working as a ticket executive with the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, a team in their inaugural season in the Western Professional Hockey League. And after a come-from-behind victory over one of their rivals, the New Mexico Scorpions, Scott Brower was hit head-on by a drunk driver and killed in that collision. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, just 34 years of age. Scott Brower, a member of the hockey community, tragically killed last week.
Nice job by the maintenance crew here of the Fort Wayne's Veteran Coliseum to get that glass repaired in very good time.
After tonight's game, the Cleveland Lumberjacks will make tracks to Chicago, where they'll take on the Wolves. Well, that man will be behind the visitors' bench here at Memorial Coliseum. Kurt Frazier and the Orlando Solar Bears take on the Fort Wayne Komets right here tomorrow night. And I think Kurt Frazier may also have been hoping to get a glimpse of Jacks netminder Derek Wilkinson. Some of the rumors hot and heavy regarding the Jacks 3-man goaltending rotation and the interest that man right there, Orlando Solar Bears head coach Kurt Frazier and his general manager John Weisbrod may or may not have. This week in Jacks history brought to you by Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you. Well, back on October 31st in 1992, Cleveland scored 5 goals in the second period on the way to a 6-3 victory Halloween night over the Peoria Rivermen. And he also realized that back in 1994 this week, October 22nd to be exact, Brand Lauer scored the first ever goal in Gund Arena. At 1:06 of the first period, Captain John Callender also scored 2 goals, but it was in a losing effort. The Vipers won a 4-3 shootout in front of 18,143 fans. This week in Jacks history, brought to you by your local Dodge dealer. So play resumes as Lehterä steps in over the Jacks line. Throws it back behind the goal. Nemirovsky hit from behind by Bedick, and a penalty coming up with 11:07 to go in the second period to play. Komets to get a power play. And you're right, Bob. Tip your hat to the maintenance crew here in Fort Wayne, getting that problem rectified very quickly. I think it was opening night, or maybe the second game played down in Nashville, of course, with the NHL's expansion Nashville Predators. They had a similar situation. I think play was stopped for 43 minutes. They had no idea how to address a problem like that.
Well, they had a broken glass is what happened, and they had not had an extra piece, or they didn't have the right one cut, and they weren't quite sure of how to take it apart or what to use, and they were sliding all over the place on the ice. So
another power play for the Fort Wayne Komets as Carl Bedick finds himself in the penalty box. Komets with a 2-0 lead. Both goals coming off the stick of Slava Butsayev. One in the first period and a shorthanded marker here in the second. Purdie in on the near side, dishes it down low. Bawa back to Purdie, ends up on the stick of Martin deep in the Jacks end. Bawa held up by McBain, who gives chase, also gets help from Harkins. Loose puck picked up by Boyce, far side. Boyce, a one-time Buffalo Sabres prospect, has seen time with the American Hockey League's Rochester Americans. He picks it up back behind the goal, sends it to Purdie, and on the near side. Purdie slides back to the point. Martin dishes it off. Shagorotsky takes over. Shagorotsky to Purdie. Purdie off his skates. Butsayev hauled down under the watchful eye of the referee, and a penalty call coming up from Kevin Hall. That'll make it a 4-on-4 situation. And in 69 seconds, if things remain the same, Carl Beddick will step out of the Jacks penalty box and give Cleveland a brief power play. Brad Purdie.
Boy, I'll tell you what, those penalties like that when you're on the power play, those are the ones that frustrate coaches. You can bet that that young man's going to hear about that penalty call when he returns to the bench after the penalty. And all he's got, he just quit working right there. All he's got to do is ride Dave into the boards, and it becomes a tie at the boards, except he gets lazy, quits moving his feet. Consequently, he hooks him down.
Last Saturday night, Bob, as we mentioned, the Jacks dropped a 7-2 game here at Memorial Coliseum. And in that game, I counted 4 times. It may have happened more, but 4 significant times that Cleveland had a power play of their own. There's a shot, and Butsayev has the natural hat trick. 3-0 Fort Wayne. Butsayev has all 3 goals.
What a pretty goal. Butsayev, boy, you can't let that guy loose. He just fires that one and blows it by a veteran goaltender and Corey Schwab. And Corey Schwab had no chance on that. That's just one of those ones you just hope to get a piece of. He just blew it right by him, walks out of the corner. You got to play him. That guy's too dangerous.
Well, he scored a goal in the first period, 5-on-5. He scored a shorthanded goal earlier here in the second. There he snaps one glove side past Corey Schwab during a 4-on-4 situation. He scored him every which way. And
Jimmy Pack thinks he has him right there. He thought he'd poked the puck by him. But Butsayev, again, as you mentioned, he's got those quick hands. He's strong. You got to take his body. You can't be poking the puck away from him.
I was real interested to see how Slava Butsayev would react when he lost his line mates from last year. Andrei Bashkarov, playing with the Montreal Canadiens, actually has a broken jaw. And Konstantin Shafranov playing back home in Kazakhstan. Well, that line was one of the dominant lines, if not the dominant line in the IHL last year. Slava Butsayev picks up right where he left off last season, so it's not Bashkarov and Shafranov. It's Lehterä and Nemirovsky helping Butsayev do the damage, but it is number 25, alternate captain Slava Butsayev, with all 3 goals for the Komets here tonight. A 3-on-2 led by Sorokin. Drops it off for Nemirovsky from the slot. Shot save made by Schwab. Rebound in the corner, picked up by Bond Sr. Up the right wing boards, out to center ice. Belanger sidesteps one man, throws it deep into the Fort Wayne zone. His line mates changing, waiting for help, and now circling back himself. The Komets will bring it out to center ice. Past the midway point of tonight's hockey game. Exactly 9 minutes now remaining in the second period. Komets up 3-0. Jacks have it in their own zone, led by Harkins on the backhand. He connects with Butsayev. Burst of speed into enemy territory. Cullen's got it. John Cullen really being used in spot duty. Back to the blue line now. Harkins. Butsayev, power play for the Jacks. Peterson spins and fired it just wide off the backboards. Cullen wraparound attempt, save again made by Racine. And the Komets got the heat off by dumping that biscuit out of the hot kitchen back into the Cleveland zone with 16 seconds left in the penalty against Purdie. One last rush on the power play if the Jacks hurry. Harkins slides it ahead for Cullen. John Cullen, 550 NHL points, dropped it off, shot turned aside again. Harkins, pass across the grain, right out in front, shoots and he scores! It's a goal from Brent Peterson at the tail end of the power play. Jacks are on the board with 8:14 to go in the second period.
Well, there again, Brett Harkins fires the puck, gets that pass. He goes through 2 Fort Wayne Komets to get it to John Cullen. John Cullen just one time to Peterson, and he wasn't going to miss. Fired it right by Bruce Racine, who follows the puck over to take on John Cullen. But again, the pass right here, Brett Harkins. 1, 2, 3 players he goes through. And again, as I said earlier, only a Brett Harkins or guys like him with the hands that can read the play. And you just have to be patient with Brett. He'll get you the puck. Don't force him. Don't force him to make the bad pass.
Tic-tac-toe passing. Harkins to Cullen. Peterson finishes the play. And the Jacks are on the board now. 3rd goal of the season for Brent Peterson, as they have some life here in the second period. McBain steers it ahead for Lambert. Loose at center ice on the backhand. Picked off. Delisle nearly stole it. Campbell's got it instead. Here comes Ed Campbell. Big shot from long range. Ends up in the corner. Wood hit from behind by Persian. Lambert was pounded by Andre Waugh. Back to center ice. Campbell throws it back inside the Jacks end, and that's going to be an offsides call at center ice. Let's take a break of our own. 7:37 left in the second. Komets have a 3-1 lead on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Okay, folks, what'll it be?
Sweetheart.
A Pepsi, please.
We only got Coke.
Sarge, you fight for freedom?
Sure.
Freedom of choice?
Yep.
I lived my whole life believing in freedom. That everyone, man, woman, or child, is free to be who we want, live how we want, and choose what we want. No Pepsi? You might as well tell me there's no Santa Claus. Come on, Grandpa.
Where are we going now?
To a far better place.
Kids, you can enter the Sherwin-Williams Junior Lumberjack Contest. 4 tickets to a Jacks game. You'll also help out around the players' bench. Sign up at any Sherwin-Williams store and visit the Lumberjacks display. And only the best will do. Ask Sherwin-Williams. Jacks looking for their best second half effort here tonight. As we move into the second half of this hockey game, 7:23 left in the second period of play. Jacks on the board, and that's an offsides call at the Cleveland blue line.
One thing that you have to be careful now with the game, with the blue lines have moved out 2 feet. A lot of times the wingers are coached to be 8 to 10 feet away from the defenseman. So they're out an extra 2 feet, and that allows 2 feet lower in the zone to work with. So there's a fine line there of with coaches of where they want their wingers when they're watching the defenseman. And a lot of times you're seeing the defensemen have more shots than forwards now because they're open.
Levine and Penn come together after the whistle, and a penalty will be called. Sean Penn not at all happy, but he will be escorted to the Fort Wayne penalty box. Eric Levine, I believe, drawing that penalty, and the Jacks will get the benefit of a power play. And as a result, a chance to climb right back into this hockey game after falling behind 3-0.
Good play by Eric Levine not to follow Sean Penn. Sean Penn took the original 2 minutes right here, and Levine could very well have gone back at him, but recognizing that now his team has the power play, just scored a goal on a power play. Getting a goal right here would put the Lumberjacks certainly right back into the hockey game.
Eric Levine in his 6th season. He was acquired from the American Hockey League's Rochester Americans for Darren Wetherill last March and has been a great addition to this hockey team. Great enough for general manager Larry Gordon, who we heard from in our first intermission, to sign him to a multi-year deal during the offseason. One of those characters that you really need in your dressing room, not to mention his size. Eric Levine, huge at 6'4", 225 pounds. Pretty good enforcer in this league.
Well, this is an interesting lineup now. He's got Harkins on the point with Peterson, Belanger, and John Cullen up front. Racine and Harkins back on the point.
Who wouldn't like that power play in the International League, or maybe even the NHL? John Cullen, Corey Spring, and Jesse Belanger up front. Harkins and Basigio working the points, as you mentioned. Glove down now by Basigio and thrown back into the corner, picked off by Sorokin, who finds a lane and gets it out.
I still like Brett up though, that's working off the hash marks, not off the point. That's a personal preference.
Looking for the big shot from the blue line, and Brett Harkins, one of the premier playmakers in the IHL. You're right, put the big booming shot back in the point as Cullen's got it, bottom of the face-off circle. Harkins looking for some help. Harkins can do some damage, dishes it off, gets a return pass from Basigio. In for Cullen. John Cullen tried to pass it off, pinballs off, Dupuis skate into the corner, Belanger on the backhand. Dupuis hit from behind by Basigio. Jack still working with the man advantage. 4 players bottled up in on the corner boards. No whistle yet. Dupuis back on his skates. Loose. Shagorodsky's got it with room, and we'll skate it out to center ice. Oleg Shagorodsky, wearing number 4 for the Fort Wayne Komets, actually won the Russian Elite League Championship back in 1993 as part of the Moscow Dynamo. Also appeared in the 1992 Winter Olympic Games for Russia.
Boy, the Lumberjacks got away with one there.
Ron Senior in on the near side. Sloppy line change. Crowd calling for a too many men on the ice penalty. And this pass
too many men.
Skips past McBain out to the neutral zone.
They could have played it down in football.
Big collision at the Jacks line. Harkins, I believe, is going to get a penalty.
I don't know why. There's that Wood kid again. He's the same guy that got hurt once before. That was a good check by Brett Harkins.
Harkins not at all happy. He's going to get the gate. It might be more than a 2-minute penalty after his reaction.
You better stay away from the official. We don't need Brett to get a 10.
6 points in his last 3 games. Harkins not at all happy.
Well, Brett doesn't take the body very often, and when he does, right here, the guy's reaching for the puck. There's Brett. I don't know. He was reaching for the puck. Did he get the leg out there, Dave?
Better angle here. You'll get a chance to see it. He may have, just to play devil's advocate, kicked that left skate out, but that's a marginal call at best.
That's right. That could have been one of those get even times.
1 second left in the penalty to Sean Penn, so as soon as the puck is dropped, Penn will step out of the box and go on the power play. Is money pouring out of your pockets? Well, it might be with a Fifth Third Bank rolling in the dough promotion. Throughout the season, 3 lucky participants will have the opportunity to win $1,000 and Jacks tickets. Sign up today at your local Fifth Third Banking Center. Or you may want to wait till tomorrow when the bank opens again. This one fired back around, skips off the glass. Inside Cleveland territory, Butsayev top of the face-off circle. So the Komets with a 3-1 lead now go to work on the power play. Top of the face-off circle, Butsayev gets a return from Campbell. Campbell gets it back at the point. Butsayev, who has all 3 Komets goals here tonight, looking for number 4, had thoughts of unloading one, instead gives it to Campbell. They continue to play catch. Finally, Butsayev in on the near side. Sorokin goes high on Schwab, and a stop made there by Corey Schwab. He's going to hang on.
Good save by Corey Schwab, getting over, staying on his feet and squaring up to the puck. That defenseman was going right for that top corner, but Corey Schwab took it away from him. Nice reaction here. We get a good camera view here. This is good camera. We're watching square to the puck. Boom, he's got nowhere to go. Corey just stays up and plays it off with that top shoulder.
Lee Sorokin, a second-round draft pick of the New York Rangers back in 1993. Played his junior hockey with Lethbridge. There's another shot for the point stop made by Schwab, and the rebound sent by Basigio back into the Fort Wayne zone. Shots on goal now, 23 apiece, but it's the Komets holding on to a 3-1 lead. 71 seconds left in their power play. Brett Harkins in the Jacks penalty box, and out comes Campbell. Outlet pass for Butsayev, forced back by Spring. Campbell takes it again. Campbell circles to center, pass out of the stick of Lehterä, got around Basigio. Oh, he hooked him, and that's going to be good enough. Didn't have to haul him down, he hooked him. Penalty coming up against Basigio, and the second time tonight, the Komets will have a 5-on-3 advantage. This one will last 53 seconds. That's the time remaining in the penalty against Brett Harkins as Basigio joins Harkins in the box.
Well, Dave Basigio was arguing on that play. He gets that stick up, gets beat, and gives a little tug on the shoulder. Dave was kind of arguing with the linesman going off. He thought there should have been a 2-line passing call made. You're not allowed to cross the 2 major lines, the red and the blue line, or coming out of your own zone. If you pass the puck over your blue line, over the red line, to a teammate.
5-on-3 advantage for the Komets. Shagorowski from the point shot, save made by Schwab, who went down, ducking under traffic, loose puck. Calendar kicks it on the backhand, couldn't clear it out. At his pocket pick by Boyce, up along the right wing boards. Purdie working the point, Shagorowski. Down low, Boguniecki out of the University of New Hampshire. Boguniecki to the point, Shagorowski. Purdie. Watched by Calendar, Purdie to Boyce. Right out in front, there's a drive from Bawa, save made, rebound there, they score! Eric Boguniecki with a power play goal. Komets lead 4-1.
Little you can do on that, Corey Schwab. Little you can do on that. He tried to get a piece of it. Inadvertently, I think, knocked it away. But again, they move the puck around so well in a 5-on-3. And you get started running around, little you can do on those types of plays.
For what the numbers are worth, the Komets now have a 4-1 lead. Only once this season has Cleveland scored 4 or more goals, and that was in a 5-4 shootout victory at Indianapolis last Sunday afternoon. That drive from Bawa, nice kick save, but he was down.
Got a piece of it, but just couldn't redirect it far enough further away from the corner. Boguniecki right there to tap in the rebound.
Shagorowski, gloved down by Purdie, still on the power play. Komets have it. Boguniecki, far side. Tried to thread the needle, intercepted instead by Lambert, and out come the Jacks. Jacks don't want to find themselves shorthanded, but when they do, it's nice to look at the bench and see number 14 down there, one of the hardest working guys and one of the premier penalty killers in the international hockey league. Chris Longo, a scratch from the lineup tonight with a broken finger. 49 seconds left in the power play. Dave Butsayev still in the Jacks penalty box. Komets set up. 4-1 our score. Komets have a lead. First 3 goals of the night scored by Slava Butsayev. Jacks got on the board. A beauty from Brent Peterson, but Eric Boguniecki during this 5-on-3 advantage has again opened up a 3-goal lead for the Komets. Shagorowski shakes 1-4 checker, sends it ahead for Lehterä through the neutral zone. Tiro Lehterä plays it back around McBain into the corner boards. McBain takes Lehterä out from behind. 19 seconds left in Butsagiev's penalty. As you see, back behind the goal, Nemirovsky toward the blue line. Lehterä for Shagorowski. In for Nemirovsky, top of the face-off circle. One man upended in front. That was Nemirovsky losing an edge on his skate. Levine tried to clear it out, couldn't do so. Nemirovsky has it. Loose puck. Nemirovsky goes wide on Levine, all the way back around the goal. Butsayev is back. Jacks at full strength. Nemirovsky pulled it out in front, got the shot off, and then was buried. He is crouched over in the fetal position. In the meantime, the Jacks move it out to center ice. Nemirovsky still down and hurt, but here comes Spring. Shot and a save made by Racine. He's going to hold on. He kicks it to the corner. We're going to step aside with 1:50 left in the second. Komets have a 4-1 lead. And David Nemirovsky gets some further medical attention here on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Frank,
room service
in play. Yeah. Hang on a second, Frank. Yeah, give me that Strohs right there. Yeah. No.
Shall I open the Strohs, sir?
Yes. No.
Shall I pour the Strohs, sir?
No, absolutely.
For more taste and more character.
It'll happen.
Shall I drink the Strohs for you, sir?
Go for it. You hear me?
There's only fire brewed Strohs.
Sir, if there's nothing else.
Yeah. So anyway, Frank.
Unscrew a fire brew.
Frank, I'll call you back.
It's your chance to take center ice for the chance to win $1,000. You'll have competition. We'll cover you with syrup and give you 20 seconds to gather as much cash as you can. The contestant who walks away with the most cash wins. Register at Fifth Third Bank or send a postcard to Fifth Third Bank. Roll it in the dough. 1404 East 9th Street, Cleveland, Ohio 44114. Jackson a hole. Second period action continues. David Nemirovsky apparently okay. Made his way to the Fort Wayne players bench. Puck thrown to an open wing. Crowd calling for a penalty. Play continues. Jacks chop it down. This should be an icing call as Sorokin hustles back to touch it. He does. It is. Face off in the Jacks zone. Tempers really starting to flare down at ice level. The world-famous Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Well, they return to Gund Arena February 21st when the Jacks host Orlando. America's Sweethearts perform from center ice during both intermissions. And we'll sign autographs before the game. Great seats on sale now. Mark it down. February 21st, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders at Gund Arena. Should be and always is a great festive night. Harkins against Butsayev. Harkins wins the faceoff. This one steered in on the near side. Bawa plays it back into the corner for Boyce. Captain of the Fort Wayne Komets. Ian Boyce hit from behind by Betek. Loose puck taken now by Harkins. Harkins to center for Callender. Callender's lead pass intended for Purdie rolls all the way down. Penalty coming up. Away from the play. Harkins was dumped by Boyce. It's going to be an interference call, and the Jacks get the benefit of a late power play here in the second period. Down 4-1.
It looked like Sean Penn was the one that pulled him down.
Robin
Harkins
Bawa
on the play. Oh, Robin Bawa.
Bawa making his way off.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Our camera guys caught it out at center ice.
Well, there's the play right there. He just pulls Brett by the top of the shoulder, and
not a good penalty for a veteran like Bawa to take.
No, that's one of those where you're just trying to play catch up with the guy, and you get the shoulder on him. Brett goes down.
Power play for the Jacks, who trail by 3. Harkins back to the point. There's a shot from Belanger through traffic, turned aside by Racine. Peterson's got it. Number 12 is Brent Peterson. He's got the Jacks' only goal coming up in our second intermission. There you see the headlines. John Cullen. We'll talk with him live. Get his thoughts. Jack President Kerry Bubol. Stats, scores, and highlights. Much more coming up after 40 minutes. We're about 35 seconds away from that right now. Callender moves in on the power play. Lost it, and it's sent all the way down by Wood.
Lumberjacks again forcing the pass, and they have to be a little bit more patient here. Get the puck to the guy that can pass the puck, and that's Harkins. Harkins has to have the puck.
17 seconds, time winding down. Basiggio to center ice. Belanger tees one up, sends it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Spring, 7 seconds left, bottom of the face-off circle, dished it off for Peterson. Peterson in for Harkins. Harkins glances at the clock. One last shot, and they score! It's going to count! A power play goal for Jesse Belanger at the buzzer, and the Jacks are back within 2, 4-2. What a blast from Belanger at the buzzer.
And a pass from Brett Harkins on that play, just a one-timer just at the buzzer. What a big goal for the Cleveland Lumberjacks to end this second period of play.
Not only does that goal bring them within 2, Bob, obviously it's a momentum builder coming into a key third period.
Oh, what a blast by Belanger, right over the left shoulder of Bruce Racine. He had no chance on him. Much the same as Corey Schwab had no chance on that third goal.
So after 40 minutes of play from Memorial Coliseum, some light at the end of the proverbial tunnel as Jesse Belanger blasts one home. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. It's 4-2 Fort Wayne at Memorial Coliseum. Back with a conversation. John Cullen joins us next on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network. "40 minutes in the record books. Ohio lottery by the numbers after 40 minutes of play. The key number, Fort Wayne up by a score of 4-2. Shots relatively even. Each team with a power play goal. Komets coming during a 5-on-3 power play. Third period action just underway. Puck dropped and play resumes. This one sent back inside the Fort Wayne zone as goaltender Bruce Racine steers it up. Help from Boyce. Out of the zone it comes. Both teams start the third period skating at even strength 5 aside thanks to Jesse Belanger's power play goal. Officially with just 1 second left in that second period of play, or else the Jacks would have started the third period with a power play, but I'm sure they'd rather have the goal up on the board. A 2-goal game as Cullen steps in over the line. There's a big blast right on, and Racine makes the stop. So good to talk about John Cullen's recovery from cancer, the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and even nicer to see him back in a hockey uniform, though it might not be an NHL uniform right now. Who knows? Before long, that might be the case.
Well, what he emphasized, the fact that he wants to have fun. He recognizes that if things work out and he can get back to the National Hockey League, that's great. That's what he's here for. That's what he wants to do. But if he can enjoy it and enjoy the game and still play it, even at this level, he's going to continue to do so.
He said he went through chemotherapy relatively well, but it was the bone marrow transplant afterwards that he wouldn't wish on his worst enemy, and that was just an awful, awful process.
That was his own marrow. That was his own marrow.
Just an awful process. Nice to see him recovered. Great guy around the locker room, and talk about inspiration. As the Jacks find themselves down by 2, pack off the boards to center ice. Callender's got it in the neutral zone. Set ahead, Belanger moves in, tried to split the defense, taken down, goes hard into the goalpost, dislodges the net. No penalties called, but play stops after the net behind goaltender Bruce Racine was dislodged. Let's check out some of our second period highlights as the Jacks find themselves down 4-2.
Well, again, just a little mistake by Corey Schwab, and the Russian, don't even attempt to say his name.
Butsayev
puts it up 2-0, and then again, a good play here. Jimmy Pack thought he had him, but boy, you got to make sure on that guy. You got to stay right with him. Keep a glove on him or keep a hand on him. And there's a beautiful goal again from Harkins. Collins at one times it over to Peterson, made it 2-1. And again, this goal right here, Corey Schwab makes a great right leg save, but just couldn't steer the puck into the corner. Tried to redirect it away, but
that blast from Jesse Belanger at the buzzer, pulling the Jacks close. Back to live third period action with the Komets up 4-2. Larocque backpedaling, banks it off the glass. Ahead of Belanger in the neutral zone, picked up by Butsayev. Again, our thanks going out to veteran forward John Cullen and the president and COO of the Cleveland Lumberjacks, Terry Bubolz, swinging by. Joining us in our second intermission as this one is tipped back out to center ice. Nemirovsky back inside the Jack zone. Head coach Grant Saunier getting a line change on the fly. Ohio lottery winning numbers tonight. There you see an 8-1-5 to pick 3 on the second to last day in the month of October. This one sent off the back of the net. Picked off by Campbell. Campbell's clearing pass ends up on the stick of Beddick. Carl Beddick expecting a child any day now. Falls down a man and will get what I believe is his third minor penalty of the night. Komets set to go on the power play exactly 2 minutes into the third period.
Well, Beddick taking that call right in front of his own bench. Again, not a good penalty, Dave. This is not a good penalty here. He makes the mistake on the call and then tries to correct it by pulling down the player in front of his own bench, right where the referee is watching.
I agree with you, Bob, and to add insult to injury, the timing of that penalty couldn't be worse. 2 minutes into a period, after Jesse Belanger scored that power play goal to try to build some momentum, that's going to squash any momentum the Jacks were hoping to build. And as the Komets go on the power play now, early stages of the third period, up by a score of 4-2. There you see the power play numbers. 11 shots for the Komets in 6 previous power play opportunities. They go to work with the man advantage for the 7th time tonight. Back behind the goal, Oleg Shagarotsky tries to shake a forechecking Lane Lambert, thrown to an open wing, and picked up, brought out toward the line. Martin courts back. Shagarotsky as Lambert does a big circle, and now Purdie got it to the line, but won't get it past Butsayev. Very aggressive penalty killing here. Jacks not giving the Komets access to center ice. As Spring and Pack jump off the bench to join their penalty killing teammates up on the far side in front of the Fort Wayne players bench. We've got 68 seconds left in the penalty to Carl Beddick as we approach the 3-minute mark of the third period. Going hard into the ice was Martin, loose puck. This one missed its mark, rolls all the way down. Cardinal problem there as the Fort Wayne Komets will be whistled for an icing call, while on the power play, McBain back to touch up, and a face-off coming up back inside the Fort Wayne zone. Don't throw away those non-winning Ohio Lottery instant tickets. Turn them into a winner. Redeem each ticket for a $2 Jacks discount. Present your non-winning Ohio Lottery instant ticket at the Gund Arena box office and receive your $2 discount.
Big face-off for the Lumberjacks. Down low with a minute to go. If they can keep the puck down here for 30 or 40 seconds, it's a long time when you're killing a penalty.
Pass off the skate of Boguniecki. Spring there on the backhand, picked up by Lehterä. And over the line, Lehterä watched by Peterson. Schwab doesn't want to take any chances. He's going to smother it. And with 37 seconds left in Beddick's penalty, another face-off coming up in the Cleveland zone as you get a look at 20-year-old Mario Larocque and now Corey Schwab in the Jacks nets.
Hey, John Carroll University opening up their season this weekend, Dave, at the Sportsplex, and as we speak right now, they ought to be into about the second period. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, they are taking on Indiana University at the Cleveland Sportsplex. Come on out to the Sportsplex where you can have lunch at the Hard Shot Grill, where we probably serve, now I'm going to challenge, we probably serve the best chili in Cleveland. Warren Reinhardt, who runs the Hard Shot Grill, has the best chili. And it's a toss-up between his and Larry Gordon's. Seriously.
There's a shameless plug from the man who runs the Sportsplex. And just to make sure you cover your tracks, the guy who owns the Sportsplex is mentioned too. I like that. You're quite a politician. You ever think about running for public office?
Yes, I have, many a time. Fortunately, I'm still a green card holder.
I wouldn't vote for you, Bob. I wouldn't vote for you.
Yes, you would.
I'll invite you over to dinner, but I won't put you in public office. Power play continues for the Komets, up by a score of 4-2. Butsayev, who's done most of the damage for Fort Wayne with 3 goals tonight, passes it off. There's a shot from Campbell, another stop from Schwab with 2 seconds left in the penalty to Carl Beddick officially.
Lumberjacks doing a nice job here. It appears to me that Fort Wayne is just a little bit cautious now. I think that second goal right at the end of the period, and its second period, is probably a little traffic in front of the net, but Schwab just staying with it. Getting it again, he gets his body in front of the puck so well, Dave. Just always center to the puck.
Schwab passed it out in front. In the meantime, Beddick returns. Dangerous scoring opportunity for the Komets. Harkins in over the line. Stop to avoid a check taken by Dupuis. Dupuis outlet pass, moving to center. Eric Wood snaps it off the backboard. Schwab comes out of his crease. Schwab steers it up on the glass. Monsignor waiting for it, stolen by Penn, threw it to an open wing. Deep in the corner, Penn, Wood, and Waugh. Talk about 3 heavyweights on the ice now for Grant Saulnier's Fort Wayne Komets. Monsignor, joined by Harkins and Belanger, and that puck ends up going up over the glass and out of play. Penn and Levine have words after the whistle. We will step aside. 15:22 to go in the third. Komets have a 4-2 lead on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Room service in play. Yeah. Hang on a second, Frank. Yeah, give me that Stroh's right there. Yeah. No.
Shall I open the Stroh's, sir?
Yes. No.
Shall I pour the Stroh's, sir?
No, absolutely.
For more taste and more character.
It'll happen.
Shall I drink the Stroh's for you, sir?
Go for it. You hear me?
There's only fire brewed Stroh's.
Sir, if there's nothing else.
Yeah. So anyway, Frank.
Unscrew a fire brew.
Frank? I'll call you back.
It's your chance to take center ice for the chance to win $1,000. You'll have competition. We'll cover you with syrup and give you 20 seconds to gather as much cash as you can. The contestant who walks away with the most cash wins. Register at Fifth Third Bank or send a postcard to Fifth Third Bank. Roll it in the dough. 1404 East 9th Street, Cleveland, Ohio 44114. 5 other games on the IHL slate. What's on tap? Brought to you by Stroh's. Well, the Vipers have battled back to tie it up. It's 3-3 at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Michigan has a 2-0 lead. Kansas City all over Las Vegas. And there's 2 late starts. Here at Memorial Coliseum, Slava Butsayev scored the game's first 3 goals. 1 during a 5-on-5. 1 during a shorthanded situation. And 1 during a 4-on-4. 3 straight goals for Slava Butsayev. Right now it's 4-2 Fort Wayne with just over 15 minutes to go in the third period of play. Sent back into the Cleveland zone. McBain on the backhand for Harkins. His outlet pass. Bonsignor reaches backboard, cuts across the neutral zone, and feeds Belanger. Back to Bonsignor. Bonsignor, nice move. Walked it in, got the shot up, deflected up over the crossbar. Racine was taken down. A collision with Belanger, and play is stopped with 14:49 to go in the third period of play.
David, you noticed how much alike Mike McBain skates like Bret Harkins? Often when I'm watching him skate out there, I get Jason Bonsignor's having a very good game tonight.
Playing with a lot of emotion.
Yes, he's playing well. He's trying to drive to the net. He's setting up some plays. He seems like he's got a purpose out there.
Jacks have scored twice on 26 shots. They're down 4-2. And I guess cause for concern, when you look at Perry Ganter's roster on paper, you don't see any offensive goals or any lack of scoring, but this club, including the 2 goals they've scored here tonight, has scored just 21 goals on the season. That's in 9 games. Make that 8 games. Only Michigan and Kansas City have scored less goals than the Cleveland Lumberjacks, as we've got a scrum brewing deep inside the Fort Wayne end. John Cullen tied up with Brad Purdie away from the play, but the main event seems to be Corey Spring and Lee Sorokin. And I'll tell you what, knowing both of those individuals, if they ever broke free, that could be a heavyweight battle. We talked about it earlier, Bob. This is what happens when 2 Central Division rivals meet 3 times in the short span of 10 days. International Hockey League schedule has not really been kind to the Cleveland Lumberjacks. They have a lot of new names and faces. They want to build some chemistry. What they've been doing almost regularly in the first 4 weeks of the season is playing on Friday night in one city and then Saturday night in a different city, very far away, tough travel conditions, and then they've got an entire week off of practices. These guys haven't been able to develop that off-ice chemistry, or the on-ice chemistry for that matter. Head coach Perry Ganter battles with keeping the club focused during practice. It's only so interesting in practice, as you see what happened on a nice level. But again, the schedule has not really been kind to the Jacks. They play on Friday in one city, Saturday far away in another city, and then have a week off. So it's 2 games, week off, 2 games, week off, and that does a heck of a lot for a 3-man goaltending rotation, too.
Well, when you get some scrums like this brings the team together because they're in there fighting for each other. John Cullen right in the middle of that. But John Cullen is not in the penalty box. Brett Peterson is. Well, I think we've got offsetting penalties here, although I think the Lumberjacks will have a power play advantage here, will they not?
Appears to be a Jacks power play, but there's still no indication up on the scoreboard. Right now, the Jacks are lining up with a 5-on-4 advantage for the face-off. And now it's going to be Lee Sorokin who does get the extra 2 minutes. So indeed a power play for the Jacks, down by 2, 14:35 to go in the third. A golden opportunity for Cleveland to climb within 1. Bosicchio sends it ahead for Harkins. Harkins has logged a lot of ice time here tonight. Why not? He comes into the game with 6 points in his past 3. Picked up an assist on the game's opening goal from Brent Peterson, as far as Cleveland was concerned anyway. Schwab will leave it there for Harkins, back in his own end with the length of the ice to travel. Harkins starts the journey by sending it ahead. Jumping up with Spring, back to Harkins, now the other way to Bosicchio. Bosicchio Threw it to an open wing. Harkins steps up on the play. Harkins got around Boyce, back inside the Fort Wayne zone. Steered by Campbell up the boards. Kicked by Harkins, bottom of the face-off circle. This one again ends up out at center ice, and it's picked up by Sumser. Could be a 2-on-1 developing. Sumser with Boyce, got the shot off, deflected up over the glass. And on a play, Komets holding on to this 4-2 lead. Your Jacks game ticket gives you the chance to get to the arena early for the Jacks High School Hockey Series presented by AirTouch. The first games are November 14th when Canada's Ridley College plays Cleveland Heights at 2:30 and Gilmore Academy at 4:30. Tickets on sale now. The whole high school hockey series brought to you by our fine friends at AirTouch Cellular. Jacks down by 2, continue to work with the man advantage. 1:13 left in Sorokin's penalty. Pasiccio, Monsignor, and into the Komets end. Goaltender Bruce Racine comes out, looks for help, steers it up the left wing where Harkins anticipates the pass, plays it on the backhand in for Spring. Into the corner, taken on the far side, that's Jason Bond Sr. with a puck to the point for Harkins. Harkins holds on to it, winds up, fakes the shot, now has room, walks it in, fakes another drive, dishes it off, Bond Sr. with a shot, glove save and a beauty from Racine. Oh, Harkins had the right idea. Talk about his patience and the way he can make you make a mistake if you rush things. That was an outstanding play from Brett Harkins, and Bonsignor uncorked one on Racine.
Makes a good play here to Bonsignor, and he holds the puck.
Look at the patience.
And I don't know whether Jason could have got this away any quicker. He walks right in and snaps it, but Bruce Racine just playing so well and reacting to the play. Good camera work here. That shot's labeled. Racine comes up with a good glove save. I don't know that Monsignor could have got it away any quicker.
Harkins beats Butsayev on the faceoff. Still 39 seconds left in this Cleveland power play. Harkins, far side, Belanger, one-timer, whipped it wide. Off the backboards, Boyce looking for some help. Boyce taken out from behind. Campbell then took down Callender. Loose puck back behind the net. Lambert out muscled, loose puck. McBain steps up along the left wing boards. Callender to the point, Belanger. Belanger settles it down, dishes it off for Harkins. Harkins holding on to it. McBain sneaking in the back door. Goes to Belanger instead. A sliding save from Butsayev, who's got it done at both ends of the ice. 3 goals in the offensive end. A sliding save there during the shorthanded situation from Butsayev. And now Belanger steps into enemy territory. McBain pass offside. Right out in front. Lambert shot save made. Callender's there and he scores! Just at the tail end of the power play as Sorokin came out of the penalty box. Callender was Johnny on the spot, and the Jacks are within 1 here in the third.
Again, good movement on the puck by the Cleveland Lumberjacks. An excellent job of moving the puck around and getting the puck to the net. Again, Jock Callender in front of the net. He's right there, and Johnny on the spot all the time. You get the Fort Wayne Komets running around a little bit. Again, Brett Harkins with the patience. He sees it all alone in front. Makes the play to Lambert, and who's there? Jock Callender.
You know who started that play, Bob? Jesse Belanger at the blue line, and his name is not going to show up on the score sheet because Belanger threw a very smart pass over to Brett Harkins. Harkins found Lambert in front, who took the first shot, and Callender buried the rebound. So it's going to be Callender from Lambert and Harkins, but it was actually Belanger who started the play back at the blue line, and you got to give kudos where kudos are deserved. Definitely Jesse Belanger starting that chain reaction, and the Jacks are now back within 1.
The Jacks have to be careful now and not get too over aggressive, because the referee, as we said before, have a way of evening things out on a penalty call, especially when a team is losing by 2 goals and they end up coming within a goal on a power play.
12-11 left in the third. Let's step aside. Jacks are within striking distance. Komets lead 4-3 on Fox Sports Ohio on the Jacks Hockey Network.
You don't have to be a pro athlete to need sports medicine and rehab. Sure, a lot of the people you see in the Peak at Marymount make their living on the playing field, but a lot of them don't. They're firemen and architects and moms too, and they all have the same thing in common. They need to get back on the job. For professional sports medicine and rehab, call the Peak at 663-0080 and get back into action. Sports Medicine Center of the Cleveland Crunch and Lumberjacks.
Bingo! Ohio Lottery bingo games. Just goes to show they're more entertaining than just about anything.
Here's a look at our Medical Mutual of Ohio game summary, Bob.
Well, Butsayev with the hat trick, but look at Brett Harkins, 3 assists tonight. Just moving the puck. When he's out there, give him the puck, guys, because he'll get it.
So the Jacks are within 1, what has turned out to be a very entertaining hockey game featuring 2 bitter rivals. We've seen the bitterness in this hockey game. Clubs separated by just 2 points in that tight Central Division race. Talk about tight. Pack sandwiched in his own end. Out come the Jacks, however. Leading the rush, Bond Sr. from the Red Wing boards, trying to send it out in front to Delisle. Instead, an errant pass picked off by Lehterä. He's got room. Big blaster right on, and a save made with a glove hand as Bruce Racine holds on.
Lumberjacks keep applying pressure here, causing turnovers in the Fort Wayne zone. They're going to get some scoring opportunities, but it's going to be important that they get to the puck first. Got to get to the puck first.
We mentioned earlier, Bruce Racine rewarded with a National Hockey League contract in the San Jose Sharks organization after leading the International Hockey League with 34 victories last season. Outstanding year for number 27, who picked up right where he left off this year. Face off to his left. Jacks win the draw. Shot through traffic. Never got through. Shagorodsky takes over. Flips it out toward the line. Picked up now by Levine. Eric Levine backpedaling. Gave it away. Boyce with a slap shot. Never got through. Levine helping his own cause after the giveaway. Out come the Jacks. 3-on-2. Could be a 4-on-2 as Pettick jumps up. Cullen pass out in front. Shot. Oh, what a move there from Corey Spring, who simply couldn't finish the play. Cullen to Spring on the backhand. He had Racine out, and Spring couldn't send it home. Racine is going to hold on.
Oh, Corey Spring right there. Nice pass by John Cullen over to Spring. He came across and had Racine at his mercy. Had the all open net, and he just slid it by the net on the goalpost. Nice little pass here by Cullen. Got him on the backhand. It just flips off the heel of his stick and misses the net.
It's a game of inches, and that was shaping up as our all-sport play of the game. Problem? Spring didn't finish.
You see that pass that Cullen made? He puts the pass between the defenseman's stick and his body, and there's no way the defenseman can get that puck unless he tries to kick at it, and if he does, he'll end up right in his keister. You know what a keister is.
Let me check my dictionary. The Widden version of the dictionary. Keister, is that with a K? Sorokin to center ice, leading the rush, in over the Jacks line, hops to the inside of Bedek, lost his stick, picks it up on the backhand, throws it around for Purdie. As we approach the midway point of the third period, Jacks down 4-3. It's the best position they've been in this hockey game, really, since the first period. Spring into enemy territory, dropped it off for Cullen. Cullen makes a move from the slot, got the shot off, save made by Racine. Boyce picks up the loose puck and brings it out to center ice. John Cullen, sucking wind, heads to the bench in favor of a change. Wrapping up what was a real long shift. While the Jacks have it in their own zone, I'd like to remind you that operators are standing by. Call right now, 216-420-0000. Cleveland Barons Heritage Night as we get an icing call at ice level. Saturday, November 14th. Hey, it's a Saturday night. It's against the Eastern Conference rival Detroit Vipers, defending Eastern Conference champions. It's going to be a great game. Jacks will wear their Barons jerseys. It's all to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Cleveland's last hockey championship, going back to 1964 with the Cleveland Barons. All kind of Cleveland Barons old-timers will be in town. Best part is, if you pick up the phone and order 4 tickets right now, you get a copy of Forgotten Glory, a great chronicle of Cleveland's rich hockey history. It's a hardcover book. You'll get it absolutely free if you pick up the phone and order 4 tickets right now, 216-420-0000. Operators are standing by. Operators including Irma Widden back at Gund Arena, correct?
Yeah.
Caught you napping there. Shots on goal, tight. Edge to Cleveland, 31-30. But it's the Komets with a 1-goal lead. On the backhand, Nemirovsky at center ice connects with Lehterä. In over the line, Butsayev, already 3 goals on the night. Back to the blue line. Campbell back behind the goal. Schwab comes out, leaves it there. Basigio steers it up the boards. Held in far side by Dupuis. Around McBain, Komets getting a defensive change on the move. In the meantime, it ends up on the stick of Harkins near side. From North Ridgeville on Ohio, this one flipped out to center ice. Harkins is going to head to the bench for a change of his own. Schwab calling for an icing. Officials do not agree. Play continues into an open wing. Dupuis and Basigio give chase. Chopped up high. Lambert's got it. Chase from behind. Selmser stays with Lambert. Loose puck picked up by Boguniecki. Puts on the brakes on the backhand. Lambert watching Selmser. Again thrown to open ice where Boguniecki's got it. nobody home. DeCigio there. Jacks having trouble clearing the puck out of their own zone. Lambert sensing that, banks it off the boards. Dupuis could not hold it in. Belanger in the neutral zone, coughed it up, and it's Boguniecki settling things down as Sorokin takes it in his own zone. Lee Sorokin lofts it about 20 feet in the air, lands in front of Mike McBain back in the Cleveland zone. Crowd calling for a penalty away from the play, but this one continues. Sent all the way down. Should be an icing call. Back for it is Campbell. Face off in Cleveland territory. When we return, 8:32 to go in the third. Komets holding on to this 1-goal lead on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Hi, I'm Matt Foley. I'm 33 years old, and I love to play hockey.
It's fun, exciting, and it's challenging. Skating, shooting, being on a team, working with other people, and being with your friends.
Winning was the best feeling I've ever had.
I have good coaches. I love to play hockey. Fast-paced.
We have a goalie in our league who's 70 years old.
You get to skate hard, do your best. Play hockey!
There you get a look at the longtime legendary voice of the Fort Wayne Komets. Do you realize that Bob Chase first broadcast his very first Fort Wayne Komets game back in 1953? This is his 46th season as the radio play-by-play voice of this legendary franchise.
How do you do that there?
I don't know. Rebound out in front. Shot from Bawa sails up high over the crossbar. Sometimes I just feel like I've been doing it for 46 years. Puck bouncing around back behind the goal and on the near side. Go ahead, say it. Bob Chase looks better than me. Say it. It's on the tip of your tongue. Not going to say it, are you? Delisle, backhand pass right out in front. Shot save made by Racine. Steered to the corner.
I've got no room to talk.
Lambert left it there. Delisle on the near side. Delisle back in the corner. Lambert hit hard from behind. Slow to his skates. Nursing that groin injury. His first game of the season. Lambert appears to be okay. Nearly on the receiving end of a pass that would have sent him alone in front of Racine. Instead, the Komets take the heat off and send it all the way down. Jacks really starting to apply some pressure. The Komets forced to take an icing call. Corey Schwab's numbers with 7:39 to go in the third period of play. 27 saves here tonight. Last year with the Tampa Bay Lightning, 2-9-1 with 2.92 goals against average. During the 1998-99 hockey season, the Lumberjacks will be showcasing area youth hockey associations during intermissions of most Jacks home games. During each game, a Movers honorary coach of the day is selected. Jack's Youth Hockey Program presented by Movers, a brand of Smith's, the dairy in the country. Look for Movers at your local grocer soon. Real milk, real good. What would be real good for the Jacks now would be a goal to tie it up as Cullen takes over. Sent it off a skate. Dupuis in his own zone. Works it up the right wing boards. Flipped out toward the line. Picked up now by Bedek in the neutral zone. Bedek's pass intended for Spring off the mark. Should be an icing call. Dupuis back for it. And with 7:15 to go in the third period of play, and now a slow, choppy period of this hockey game.
Both teams appear to be tired here. When was the last time that Fort Wayne played? It's been over a week, and Cleveland played last week, and they just haven't got their game legs here in the third period.
Komets coming off a 4-2 loss in Cincinnati on Tuesday nights.
Well, they should be pretty fresh. You got the couple of days off and now playing. Cleveland, on the other hand, hasn't played since last week.
Jacks coming off Sunday's 5-4 come from behind shootout victory at Pepsi Coliseum on the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Indianapolis Ice never really trailed in that game until the shootout when Zach Burke prevailed over Jeff Saleko. Now through the neutral zone, picked up by Purdie. One man back. Purdie against Levine's shot. He ripped it wide off the backboards. Bedek watched by Bawa. Gets it out to center ice. Shagorodsky loose at the Jacks line, and that's going to be an offsides by a proverbial country mile with Brad Purdie trapped inside the Cleveland zone.
Cleveland had a good week at practice, Dave. They were on Tuesday night, as you know, they were out at North Olmsted, and I understand they had a great turnout at North Olmsted. North Olmsted, a good hockey program. They had the Lumberjacks out there, and the Lumberjacks practiced Wednesday and Thursday at the Sportsplex. Had an excellent week in practice.
Coming up following the game, stay tuned for Fox Sports News Prime Time. The NBA Labor Report, Charles Barkley exclusive, and Arnold Palmer returns. Stay tuned to find out what that's all about. Coming up immediately following the game, Fox Sports News Prime Time. Jacks down by 1. Butsayev moves in from the slot, drop it off to Nemirovsky. Right out in front, shot save made. Butsayev with a second chance. And Schwab was there to make the save. A fast whistle, and the crowd reacts.
Referee, as soon as he lost sight of the puck, he blew the whistle. Lumberjacks are fortunate in that call. Corey Schwab again making 1 or 2 big saves, but the puck did come loose. The Lumberjacks get the quick whistle here. This could have been dangerous. Right there, he makes a great save coming back.
See the
puck is going to go
there.
the other way, and Corey's able to change direction. He's going to his right, the puck shot to his left, and the puck comes shooting out, and the whistle was blown, fortunately for the Lumberjacks.
Sorokin forced back in his own zone. Turned around by Belanger. Threw a pass up the boards. Intercepted by the Jacks. Harkins to Calendar. Shot and a save by Racine. John Calendar coming dangerously close to tying this game up. Nemirovsky had a man going toward the net. Could not connect with Lehterä because Butsayev was right in his face. This one again sent back into the Cleveland zone. Clock becoming a factor for the Jacks, down by 1, 5:49 to go in the third period. Shekarovsky plays it back into the Cleveland zone. Fort Wayne Komets had a 3-0 cushion. The first 3 goals of this game scored by Slava Butsayev. Jacks have managed to claw their way back into this one. Calendar in forechecking. Boguniecki whipped it around the boards on the backhand. Steered back toward the point, but not out. Jacks have it, centering feed. Boguniecki picks it off. Fort Wayne Komets at this point in time, Bob, seem content flipping it out of their own zone, and the Jacks will try to obviously exploit the fact that the Komets are trying to go into a defensive shell.
Well, when they can, the Lumberjacks are sending that defenseman in so they can have 4 guys in the offensive zone, but they do have to be careful because Fort Wayne could be explosive coming out of their zone.
Boyce case in point as Boguniecki steers it back behind the net. Big collision, 4 players involved. Loose puck picked up by Delisle. 5 minutes now remaining in the third period of play. Senior in on the near side. Crowd thought it was offsides. Lambert with a shot save made by Racine. Again lofted out to center ice, and it ends up in the stands. We will step aside. 4:50 to go in the third. Komets holding on, but it's only a 1-goal lead on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network.
Jacks Pro Hockey at Gund Arena is full of vicious slap shots. Unbelievable saves! It's also great family fun with non-stop action, giveaway events, and special theme nights. The Jacks have season ticket plans that fit every budget and schedule, along with great benefits and discounts. I can't wait!
Jacks 1998-99 full season, half season, and flex plan packages on sale now. Call the Jacks at 216-420-0000 for information on the ticket plan that's best for you.
It's Michael Johnson. It's fast and loud.
I'll be right back.
I hate it when that happens.
Jacks will be in Chicago tomorrow while the Fort Wayne Komets host Orlando. Right now, 4:50 to go in the third period of play. Komets holding on to this 4-3 lead. Shekarovsky tried to clear. Peterson knocked it down about chest high. Left there for Cullen. John Cullen already has his name in the score column, picking up an assist on the Jacks' first goal from Brent Peterson. Cullen in on the near side. Lost an edge, goes crashing down. Dupuis gets it out to center ice. Picked up now. Purdie has it from the right wing boards. Purdie, pass out in front, shot. Bawa tipped it just wide as Butsayev went down trying to break up the play. And now he comes away with it out of Yale University, an Ivy Leaguer. Butsayev to center ice. Cullen quickly ahead for Spring. Spring at the line, knocked off his stick. Peterson bumped by Sorokin, and Bawa finishes the job by sending it back into the Cleveland zone. Corey Schwab leaves it there for Mario Lehterä. Just 20 years of age, a first-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pack now snaps it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Sorokin to center ice. Lehterä into enemy territory. Sorokin lines him up and drills him into the boards. Played in along the near side. Pack through traffic, knocked down. Sorokin tips it out to center ice. Kicked by Pack. See the time remaining. 3:37 left. Jacks need a goal to stay alive as Pack lost it to center, 2-on-1 the other way. Nemirovsky has Lehterä. Nemirovsky moves in, got the shot off, and he scores. Oh, what a shot from David Nemirovsky as he goes low, stick side, and the Komets lead 5-3.
Lumberjacks got caught at the offensive blue line. A 2-on-1 coming out of the zone. They just could not get enough. Jimmy Pack could just not reach him. He kept his legs moving, but just had too much speed. That is a good shot. And there was nothing there to shoot at, but he found just a seam, just enough to go, and it looked like it may have gone between the legs of Corey Schwab.
Love that reverse angle. Take a look at the reverse angle. Jimmy Pack desperately trying to fight back into the play.
Just beats him low to the right side of the pad. He didn't have anything to shoot at. Schwab had that all blocked off.
And you mentioned it earlier in the period. The Jacks, in order to try to get back into this game, are going to try to send a defenseman up, and Jim Pack got trapped that time. No way you can blame the veteran defenseman because the Jacks needed a goal to stay alive anyway. Instead of a 1-goal deficit, now it's a 2-goal deficit, but you've got to roll the dice and take a chance, and that's what Jim Pack did. David Nemirovsky made him pay for it, and it's a 5-3 lead for the Komets. Jacks have it out at center ice. Bedek snaps it back in. I just didn't think, Bob, and it's still very early in the season and this team is looking for its identity, but I didn't think goal scoring would be a problem for the Lumberjacks when you take a look at all the offensive power available on paper. This club has only scored more than 4 goals once in 8 games. They've been held to 3 again here tonight. Senior threw it out in front. Campbell tipped it wide. Taken and flipped back out to center ice. Chopped through the neutral zone. Selmser, far side. Sorokin has logged a lot of ice time here in the third period and really made the most of it as this one is thrown in and whistled down on the offsides. Intentional offsides, apparently, so a face-off coming up back inside the Fort Wayne zone with 2 minutes, 12 seconds left. Get a look at Mike McBain from ice level. Jacks group discounts. They start at just 20 people and provide up to $6 savings per ticket, depending on the size of your group. From birthday parties to corporate meetings, call 216-420-0000 for details. Group outings at Gund Arena. Always a great time, especially with the Cavs labor dispute right now. And of course, the Cleveland Browns still a few months away from returning. The Jacks the only game in town, and we'd love to see you down at Gund Arena. Take advantage of it.
Oh, it's a great value for a good dollar, and you get to see some stars of yesterday, stars of today, and stars of tomorrow.
Big collision in behind Corey Schwab, and a penalty coming up as Lehterä drilled Purdie into the boards and then got a shot well after the whistle from Ian Boyce. Boyce not at all happy. Penalties are going to be called here, and this could be an interesting situation for referee Kevin Hall. 1:59 to go in the third period of play. Lehterä is going to get a boarding penalty. What is Boyce going to get? And I think Brad Purdie's got one big headache. That's what he's got. We'll check it out.
Well, he did take a heavy hit here. Again, Corey going behind the net, easily plays it behind. And Lehterä just comes in and he rocked him. Now, you know, maybe not all that bad.
Good look there on the reverse angle again.
Maybe not all that bad when you get to look at it. Oh, he took him into the boards. Whether he threw him down or not. But you know, getting back to your comment about the scoring, while I agree with you that there is a lot of scoring, a lot of offense, it does take time to gel. When you get as much offense as can be generated by a lineup, there is some combinations that have to be worked out. There are a lot of things that have to fall into place.
Jacks come into the game surrendering an Eastern Conference high 3.71 goals against on the average. They've given up 5 here tonight, so it appears that Cleveland will go into Chicago and face the defending Turner Cup champions tomorrow night, having given up the most goals of any team in the Eastern Conference, and that obviously not a good sign. We'll get to see an old friend tomorrow, too. Goaltender Pat Jablonski signing with the Chicago Wolves. Game time 8 o'clock tomorrow from the Rosemont Horizon. 1:39 left in the third period of play. 4 players bottled up. That's John Cullen and Lee Sorokin mixing it up. Brent Peterson stepped in there as well. Got to tip your hat to John Cullen getting right in the mix of things. The tour with the Jacks will be visiting the Kent State University Ice Arena. That's coming up on Tuesday, November 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. The Jacks will conduct a full team practice followed by public skating and player autographs. The event is free and everyone is invited. That's at the Kent State University Ice Arena Tuesday, November 10th, and that's what you were referring to earlier. One of the stops on the tour with the Jacks at the North Olmsted Rec Center last Tuesday. Outstanding attendance and a great time for all.
Kent State facility is managed and operated by Bill Sweetie, former St. Ed's. And
that was actually John Cullen's first practice when he came in from Tampa Bay.
Imagine that, coming out and going out to seeing that. He probably thought every practice was like that.
Long-range drive from the point, kicked aside by Racine. A 4-on-4 situation after the penalty. Schwab is on the bench in favor of an extra skater. The net to our right is empty, and the Jacks are now skating 5-on-4 with the empty net. 1:21 left in the third period of play. Jacks down by 2. They quickly need one as Peterson split the defense. He was hauled down, and a penalty coming up against the Komets. Just what the doctor ordered for the Lumberjacks. Peterson was hauled down. It's a tripping penalty from referee Kevin Hall as we check it out. Jacks were moving in, and he was hauled down trying to split the defense.
Now, I would imagine that Gancher is going to call a timeout here to draw up some plays. If he can get one right away, right off the face-off, because the face-off will be down low to the left of goaltender Bruce Racine.
Lee Sorokin picks up the 2-minute tripping penalty. Jacks will now skate 5-on-3, but the net to our right will remain empty, and indeed, Jacks head coach Perry Gancher calling the timeout.
One thing that the Lumberjacks have to be careful with now, Dave, is they have a tendency in their power play to take too long and moving the puck around. They don't have time here right now. They've got to make a couple of one-timers, a little pass, and give and go and shoot the puck. They can't be forcing to do any perimeter passing.
Grant Saunier rallies the troops in front of the Fort Wayne bench. Give us a chance to remind you, stay tuned immediately following the game. Fox Sports News, latest on the NBA situation. Also, Arnold Palmer returning. Find out what that's all about. Fox Sports News prime time after the game. 1:16 left in the third period. Perry Gancher talking strategy. Jason Bond Sr., Brett Harkins, Brent Peterson, Jesse Belanger, and Dave Basigio will be available. Operators are still standing by, burning that proverbial midnight oil. Back at Gund Arena, 216-420-0000. Order at least 4 tickets to Barron's Heritage Night and get a real special gift. Belanger from the point, let the shot fly. That one goes wide. Jacks down by 2. Here's Basigio, dishes it off. Harkins, top of the face-off circle, looking for that quick puck movement down low. Bonsignor in. Belanger got a shot tipped high off the corner boards. 1 minute to go in the third. Moving it out as Butsayev gets it out to center ice. Shagorodsky beaten to the puck by Harkins. On the backhand, Peterson takes it. Peterson held up at the line. Off Belanger. Time running out on the Cleveland Lumberjacks as Belanger hit from behind by Shagorodsky. Belanger comes away with it. Basigio, far side. Harkins. Bonsignor. Harkins. Bonsignor, bottom of the circle, right across the slot. Oh, Belanger had an open net and couldn't bury it. Belanger not able to capitalize, and it remains a 2-goal lead for the Komets. Jacks, Basigio, shot, save Racine, rebound in front. Jacks with all kinds of chances to pull within 1, and Racine is going to hold on. How did Jesse Belanger miss that from the slot?
He had the 6x4 right there, 24 square feet. He missed it all.
68 points in 54 games with the Las Vegas Thunder last season, and Jesse Belanger just missed a golden opportunity to pull Cleveland within 1. We'll check it out. Look at this.
Here's that pass again. It just threaded, goes right across the front of the net. Well, that's not the play we were looking at.
Taken by Purdie. He gets it around Basigio toward the empty net. It's going to go in and ice the cake. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. Fort Wayne Komets have a 6-3 lead with 10 seconds to go in the third period of play.
Not a bad effort here tonight by the Cleveland Lumberjacks. They just, every time they got close, Fort Wayne just kept going. They were down 4-1, kept coming back. The old saying.
That traveled about 160 feet at least, just inside the left goalpost. And is the icing on the cake for the Komets.
That's one where every eye in the building is on the puck.
Back for it. Time is going to wind down. So the Cleveland Lumberjacks dropped their second consecutive game to the Fort Wayne Komets. They did rally for a 5-4 shootout victory over Indianapolis in between there. But the Komets, who broke a 7-game losing streak to Cleveland with a 7-2 victory last Saturday night here at Memorial Coliseum, follow up that with an encore performance tonight. 6-3. Komets beat the Central Division rival Fort Wayne Komets. That is our final score. Bob Whidden and me, Dave Miller, return with some final post-game thoughts next on Fox Sports Ohio and the Jacks Hockey Network. And by Medical Mutual of Ohio, your healthcare partner since 1934. Our final score from Memorial Coliseum in America's heartland. The Fort Wayne Komets beat the Cleveland Lumberjacks 6-3, as I mentioned at the tail end of that hockey game. The Komets snapping a 7-game losing streak to the Jacks last week, and they followed up with a big performance here tonight. Let's check out our all-sport play of the game. All sport, the game will never be the same. Well, Slava Butsayev picked up 3 consecutive goals. This was the third one that gave the Komets a 3-0 lead. Slava Butsayev single-handedly doing most of the damage for the Komets before the Jacks offense would come to life and climb back within 1. Jacks were within 1 until late in the game. An empty netter puts the icing on the cake for the Fort Wayne Komets. Once again, our final score, 6-3. Komets will take on the Orlando Solar Bears tomorrow, while the Cleveland Lumberjacks will take on the Chicago Wolves, the defending Turner Cup champions, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock from the Rosemont Horizon. Let's take a look at some of our final numbers. Ohio Lottery, by the numbers. Final score, 6-3. Relatively high shot totals for both clubs, 37-35, Cleveland with the edge. Both teams capitalizing on 1 out of 7 power play opportunities, but the big number there, 6-3. Fort Wayne Komets beating the Cleveland Lumberjacks and moving into a tie for second place in the Central Division for this point in time. Still a very tight race in that Central Division. However, so the Indianapolis Ice hold the top spot. Cleveland and Fort Wayne now tied 1 point behind for second place in the Central Division, followed up by the Michigan K-Wings, who are busy tonight. Let's check out our next telecast coming up back from Gund Arena Friday night, November 13th, right here on Fox Sports Ohio. Jacks will host the Indianapolis Ice at 7:30. Fox Sports News coming up next. Thanks to our entire crew. For my partner Bob Whidden, our director and producer Pat Murray, and our entire game night crew, this is Dave Miller. Good night from Fort Wayne, where the Komets beat the Jacks 6-3. Good night, everybody.